Discretion is advised.
Happy Monday. You are listening and or watching PWNCAST. This is episode 148. We are in patch 7.1.5. Tonight we're going to be talking about all the news from the World of Warcraft universe. AP changes coming in 7.2. PvP tuning changes, man. Their class balancing for PvP. Those updates will be live probably by the time everybody watches this, but we have that and much, much more, so make sure you guys stay right here.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there is a group that defies convention. A group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch. A group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. A group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt, Bell, the PWNCAST Vanguard. The wolves whose howl can signal death's coming, Lycan. Snap back and get faster for the pet battle Grandmaster, Gemma Banks. He's sharp as a dagger with that dapper swagger, Secret Sauce. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are PWNCAST.
Guys, it's that time again. I feel like me and Remedies should get hats because you guys are always like me and Remedies look very dapper, right? Like we dress to impress when it comes to show night. I actually put on my face for the show, right? And I brush my hair. But I feel like you guys are like,
no.
What would I describe or say?
I picked out a clean t-shirt.
You put on a clean t-shirt.
Oh, I'm unmuted now.
Yeah, you're unmuted.
He heard us. Oh my gosh.
It's clean. BlizzCon shirt.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
No, I think that's great. I just feel like I don't want to say me and Remedies care more, but I feel like we just care more.
Remedies and I.
We'll go on that matter, right? So here, check it out.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, his hair always looks dapper. So
I need a haircut.
Moving.
Really
Stop.
bad.
Skype does not like you moving. Just sit still.
Well, while you get a new hat, I'm gonna go get glasses for next episode.
Oh, glasses? Like real glass, like the kind you need for vision, or like sunglasses?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna stay like this.
I'm not judging. I mean,
Vision's
there's a little
superhero,
judgment.
so.
There's a tiny bit of judgment here. Not a lot of judgment. But
you guys do look good, yes. Remedies and Bell looks good.
I mean,
today.
you guys look amazing in your hats, of course. At least it's not all of you with a hat and not me. At least I have Remedies here to rep with the no hat wearing club.
Remedies will never rock a hat. Yeah, it's not.
Next week,
not him.
I won't have a hat on. I promise. Getting my hair did tomorrow.
The hat messes up Remedies' hair, so he.
Whenever I go to the store, I wear my hat.
Like I believe you wear hats in your RL, but not.
He's super like how he presents himself to the public.
He's gonna go get his Angels hat now.
Yup.
Hat he owns.
This is the one hat that I'll wear out in public.
Why would you wear that? And that would be the one thing you choose of all the things to wear. That
hat is dirty.
It is old. This is from like 91.
That's a lot of germs living in there.
That's from his T-ball years.
Everyone, Angels in the Outfield. I see them.
I love that movie.
We've derailed rather quickly. But I did bring the Writers of Rohan with me. I did bring the monk, who is clearly out of good ideas because it appears someone stole his light bulb. Gemma Banks, what the fuck?
They didn't steal it. I'm just out of light bulbs.
I feel like someone stole it.
Have you not figured out your hat yet?
Well, yeah, it turns like it lights up, and last week when I went to light it up, I'm like, oh, it's not working. I started panicking, like my expensive hat was broken. But there's an actual like charger thing that I haven't figured out. It's just like something it's not like an actual charger that you plug in, but like on the inside of it, you like connect it and it connects to the light and it charges up. So
wow, that's interesting.
Very.
And then it just randomly didn't work.
Get on that.
No, it still doesn't work yet. I was too lazy to charge it long enough.
I feel like the reason it doesn't work is because you might use it too much. In my mind's eye, I picture Gemma on his bike, Pokemon going, with his hat that lights up, and he's just like mobbing through the neighborhood trying to catch them all. And I think that's really the problem. If I
Very
were to
close.
guess. Yeah.
Very close. I don't bike with this hat. I don't want to sweat in it because it was so expensive. So I drive
There you
around
go.
sometimes.
Or you might get caught on
appreciate you more
fire
now.
because anytime there's electronics, anything, then there's, moisture from your sweat glands. That's,
Right? Yeah.
That
Happy
gross.
Family Day.
I got a visual of that. That was just-
Family Day.
Yeah, it's Canada, bro.
I don't know what that means. I don't like family. Just kidding. I did also bring the priest who's living that tier life, unfortunately leaving the rest of us scrubs in the dust. Secret tier? You what?
No, I mean, I only have 2 pieces. I know people in writers that have like 5, maybe 6 pieces.
I have 8.
And then other writers that have
It's-
no pieces.
Kind of redundant to have 6.
Well,
I have
I'm just
Uno.
saying.
Actually, Remedies, if you mix and match with whatever legendaries he could get, it's not redundant.
Oh my.
Then you'd have 4.
Yeah, you
you
can
know,
only have 4 equipped,
just
but he
getting that
might
tier.
get...
Can't wait for tomorrow to get some more tier on my alts. So
I can't wait to
Should we
not
get-
get anything on my anything tomorrow because
Right?
that's just Blizzard hates me. So Blizzard loves
sorry.
my alts though. Blizzard just doesn't love my main.
I've been really lucky with a lot of people in LFR because it's just people going to try to get legendaries. And the other rogue today, he had a 4-piece heroic set. So the gloves dropped and he said any rogues want to roll on it. The other guy already had normal. I rolled just common courtesy and he's like, here you go, man. I was like, sweet, thanks. You're the best.
Winning.
Yeah, and he was doing like 671k DPS too, so I guess he really didn't need LFR gear.
My Destro is really struggling with single target. It's just not getting
It
anywhere.
is. Yeah, I mean,
AoE's
I've
amazing. I could pull 600k. There was one. I don't remember what boss fight it is with all the ads. I can pull 600k easy. It's just my single target's just I don't know what else to do outside of slit my wrist open and bleed for Blizzard to get them to fix my single target. I
Yeah.
don't know at this point what else to do. We just recently
Good
leveled
luck in a week,
druids.
girl. Just saying.
Just
saying.
I don't know.
Yeah, how'd the
What
duel
else
go
at the
between
end
you
of
two?
it? Well,
She has
PvP is different, so I'm not worried about that. We're actually getting a PvP buff on the 21st, so I'm not worried about that. PvP,
Ooh.
I'm fine in PvP.
That's when they'll have the
What level is your prestige at?
What do you mean?
3?
I
Yeah,
haven't
for
prestige
P-
yet. I'm about to, though.
So you're like level 49. You have like all your passives.
Yeah, I have all my talents.
It should be fun.
Yeah, I have all my talents, and
think I
they're
have, like,
great.
4.
They're great talents, which we'll talk about that later on. But
Well,
I do
yeah.
have great talents. But
right.
yeah, they just gave Destro just a little bit of a buff.
I might PvP all night. Just catch up.
Oh my. I did also bring the paladin that enjoys several shades of red for his lipstick choices, and I gotta say, guys, he looks fucking fabulous. Remedies.
Long story short, hot Cheetos either on my lips or on the keyboard. It was a sacrifice I was willing to make.
Well, I took a screenshot of him when we were in Zoom, and it was nice. It was a nice
Yeah,
cherry
It was
red
pretty red, yeah.
lips. I
Let's
just
see
wanted
the
to
pants.
hashtag
How
my
red are the
support for
pants?
his life choices because I do, in fact, support any choice he makes, and that does include wearing lipstick because it was a good shade for him, and he even it's still kind of a little bit red tinged. You could even see that they're.
He's been
He wants
eating
to-
some cherry Tootsie Pops.
Well, lipstick works better than chapstick. That's what I was told. So.
Who told you that? I don't know who says that. Girls that wear lipstick. I wear lip gloss. I
Try
don't
to
wear
justify lipstick, yes.
yeah.
Well, they try to justify contouring, and then you wake up with a whole different person with their face washes off while they sleep. That's traumatizing for you men. I don't know how you guys handle it. I would literally.
That's why women are bigger liars than men.
No, it's
That's
false
why I
advertising.
go-
But can you imagine going to bed next to what you think is one person, and then their face washes off at night on the pillow, and you wake up and you're like, "Who
Or
the
on
fuck
your
are
shirt.
you?"
That's
Yeah.
why you make sure you leave before they wake up.
It's just really it's a scary time for you men out there. Even you women who are dating other women, it's a scary time to know what you're up against in the false advertisement arena. With angles of cameras and stuff. It's
Yeah,
just
you go home
scary.
with Dave, or go home with Secret, and you wake up with Remedies.
That would be amazing. So for the the WoW news. I know we talked about it last week, playing in Heroes of the Storm in order to be able to get the Primal Flame Saber. So this is going on still until March 13th. Here's what you need to know.
Awesome.
You need to be grouped with just one other person on your BattleNet. You can play versus AI, and you can be doing the PvP brawls.
Nice.
Those count. And you do not have to win. You just have to play 15 completed games. So you have to complete the games. So you don't have to win them. You just have to have 15. We grinded out.
Or you can do like me and do 37.
We grinded out. We did 10, and then we did the last 5.
But Belle, what do I do if I have no friends?
If you have no friends on BattleNet, just comment on the show, and I will run with you. I don't mind playing.
I wasn't gonna suggest that, but that's a great idea.
I mean, I don't mind. I've been playing Sylvanas on Heroes, and it's quite fun. Oh, and you also have to be playing a WoW character, so make sure you're playing a WoW character. Yeah. Be grouped with one other person on your BattleNet and complete 15 games, and then you will log into World of Warcraft, and it will be there in your mount collection. You'll have to unwrap it as a gift. Mine, there was a small delay on me receiving it, but a log in and log back out did trigger me being able to see it in my UI. So if you do not have anybody to run Heroes of the Storm with, just message or comment on the show, or send me an email and let me know that you would like.
There might be even a follower that would be willing to do it as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of
true.
Facebook groups that have been posting about it as well.
Yeah.
So
if you find it difficult to ask for help, just comment, and one of us will battle ID you, and we'll.
Well, yeah, I still need mine, so if there's like
either one of us
really?
on here will go.
Yeah, I haven't played Heroes in a while, no.
I had quite a good time. I don't really particularly. I don't care for Heroes, but I did have a good time. I did enjoy it. I got MVP, which was really nice because
I saw that.
I don't get MVP in anything. So for me to get MVP, it was really great. And
whoever was
people
playing Varian.
Well, yeah, people were commenting. They were like, "Well, the Varian should have been MV." Well, I'm sorry, the Varian wasn't MV fucking P. I'm sorry, I was, because I was amazing and I was literally killing shit left and right. So I don't know how to help you. And I was I was doing the objectives like you were supposed to do. Like I was following, I was doing it. I was making it happen.
Those AI bots did not know what was coming.
I know, they had no clue that Belle was coming.
You guys have it set to like super beginner too?
Yeah, we had it super easy. Like, and I'm not bragging because there's plenty of people that are amazing.
It was on moderate.
But for me,
really?
For someone who doesn't Heroes to go into Heroes, and then I was doing quite well. I was pretty happy with my.
I figured you would pick like Dan or somebody.
No, I just understand Sylvanas because the Sylvanas is ranged, and it just the skills make sense to me. So it was really easy for me to pick up. Like after the first couple of games, I pretty much had down which which traits I needed to choose.
Yeah, jumping over the wall and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so there's that one thing where she has a teleport, and the teleport's used directly after you use your skill, and then the teleport pops up, and I'm an idiot and kept clicking it, and then I would end up on the other side of the enemy's wall when we were trying to break down their
Heroes is great if you don't play many MOBAs. Like I'm bad at MOBAs, but it's such a team game where you level up together, so it's great for the casual players.
Wait, it's a team game?
We had fun just kind of playing together. Like I enjoyed just playing with my friends. That was really, that part of it was really nice. And the 15 games went by super quick.
Yeah.
My recommendation would be for you, if you have the ability, put together a group. Post in a group and try to get 5 people, because the queue goes really quickly when you have a full group of 5 versus waiting for other people to zone in with you. So if you have the means, I do recommend having a full group of 5. If you don't, 1 or 2 people, whatever you can grab is definitely okay. But I do recommend trying for the 5. And even if you group up with people you played with previously, like maybe there's just 2 of you, and then you play with other people, just talk to them and see if they're willing to add you on battle tag, and then you guys just hammer the rest of that out. So I was getting tons of battle tag requests when I hopped in there, because you have to be battle tag friend, and it was annoying. I actually turned that off because I was getting sick of the battle tag requests.
Yeah, what was happening is there is an option in the privacy where people can see your name, and they will try to join your group without being on your friends list, and it's just sits and spams. Like it's constantly like,
we had that.
Oh, so tries to join through blah blah blah. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, we added a couple people like that, and they weren't bad. It was just weird. I'm like, hey, do you know this person? Was like, no, I have no idea who that is. I'm like, well, it says they know you. So
yeah, they kept, because there was people that were requesting through me, and Remedies is like, this is your friend. No, this is not my friend. I don't know who this person is. And we had a full group. We had a group of 5. So requesting to join my group wasn't helping you. It wasn't helping your cause, because I'm not going to kick, one of our people.
Right.
But I don't There's a new player chat too when you zone into heroes that you could probably there was tons of people looking for Mount Farm group. So I mean, I don't think anybody will have an issue getting it done. And remember, you don't have to win. And we went in with that mindset of we don't necessarily have to win, and I think that helped make it easier, but we actually I think we only lost 3 out of the 15, I want to say. I know we didn't lose very many. So, and it was against AI guys. We're tough, okay? We know how to be aggressive.
Yeah.
When it comes to
super push bot.
we know how to do those things. So make sure you guys go and do that because the mount is pretty neat. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. The mount is not something in my visual repertoire that I will ever use, to be perfectly honest, because it doesn't match my Mog. And it'll never be something that matches my Mog, but it's nice to just have another mount. It's a free mount, guys. So even if you won't use it. I actually am using the Arcanus Mana Saber because it is Nightwell, Nightfallen,
By the way,
everything, so
you got it
Flame
finally?
Saber does not have a flying form. I found that out jumping off the tower.
But
did you?
the Arcanus Mana Saber does have a flying form
Yes,
because
it
I was
does.
flying all around Stormwind, but I love it obviously because it's Suramar incarnate in a mount, so that's actually my new favorite mount.
Saber, hello.
So it'll be like your Alliance chopper that you don't drive anywhere.
I do drive my Alliance chopper. I typically go in the alleyways of Stormwind with my chopper and pretend to do shady deals with the NPCs.
Okay, fair
They
enough.
said I wasn't a role player, but apparently I do have a little role play in me. Because
Sounds like it.
That is what I really do, try to make seedy deals with the NPCs in the alleyway.
You got the stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
you role play with the other people, but by yourself.
Like I'm a drug dealer, but I'm
Seen
not.
that vendor with the white kitten anywhere? I'm still looking for
Just so
him.
we're clear, I'm not a drug dealer, because if I was a drug dealer, I would have a lot more money.
But you are a drug lord. I mean, dread lord.
I am probably a drug lord, but I'm not a drug lord. I'm not. I just
Yeah, you give out goodies every day that you are in game.
If you by goodies you mean my friendship and my sparkling personality, then yes.
There you go.
Yes, I do
Winning.
give those things out every day.
Nice.
I'm just
smell
sparkling
the
and
bullshit
sparkling
through the
personality is
internet.
just not something that's in the description when you're describing me as an individual. If somebody ever described me like Belle's the greatest, like I know you're lying. You were lying your ass off, and I'm gonna need you to knock it off because there's nothing great going on around here. With that being said, World of Warcraft Chronicles Volume 2 will be available March 14th. You can pre-order it now. I bought mine off Amazon, but I do want to make a disclosure about purchasing it from when I bought mine. I don't know if you can buy it from another place, but I bought mine on Amazon, and mine came fucked up. And I'm not blaming Amazon, but I'm pretty much blaming Amazon. The edges of the book some were like indented. It looked like they tossed the book around the Amazon warehouse because
That's
they were
not
bored.
good.
That happens all the time, doesn't it? Secret.
So it did come, and it was like I sent Blizzard the pictures and just said like I appreciate you're using Amazon because I love Amazon. I buy everything from Amazon, but it was pretty.
Me too.
I was pretty annoyed by that.
Secret,
So
hurry up and place your order for the book that you're not going to read.
Yeah, just be weary of it, but go get it, guys. It's something to
I got the
have.
pre-order.
Even if you don't plan on reading it anytime soon, just get it. I know people that for Chronicles Volume 1 that waited till last minute, they had to wait till they restocked. So just get it. Read it while you're in the tub, guys. Just
Some of us don't fit in tubs, Belle.
just go home from a day of work and light candles and turn off the lights. Put in
Put your
put in
feet
a
up on the
bath
wall.
bomb. Just
Some green candles too.
yeah, just soak
All
up
that fell.
the World of Warcraft life
That smell
while
like
you're in
pine.
the tub. And for those of you men who are doing it, if your wife just looks at you weird, just say Belle said for me to take a tub and
Belle said.
read my.
You just gotta
Read
chill
my-
out in the tub like Chandler Bing.
I love baths, but I'm a girl. I guess I don't know how many. I mean, I'm sure some of you
do
men.
bath bombs? Do you put a little bath bomb in there?
I
What
don't
do you call those
do
things?
bath bombs. No, mostly because
Makes your own.
they're just expensive, and I don't want to pay for that. I don't.
Fair enough.
Make your own.
What I'm not. I don't craft. We don't just sit and make my own
You
bath
can make
bombs.
your own bubbles. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, it's called dishwashing soap. Okay, I'm ghetto. I don't make my own anything. I should make my own soap because I'm cheap, but I don't because I like.
I mean, now we
bought
know
soap.
how to because of, can't talk about it because rule number 1.
You have to be more specific. There's so many rules.
I don't know what's going on. But, so Ian Hazacostas went over the goals for artifact power for 7.2 and even talked about some of the missteps that I'm sure we've all noticed in Legion. Basically, there are two goals for artifact power. To serve as a constant reward from doing several different types of content while allowing max level players a way to be able to progress, right? A way for them to be able to progress and then be able to have some sort of customization around the initial progression as they were deciding what path to take with, their traits and their artifact power, and to be able to do that. Two missteps, which there are solutions that will be implemented in 7.2. The first one, the cost of Paragon traits, which I'm assuming those are the golden traits. I didn't know they were called Paragon traits.
I would assume so, yeah.
I had no fucking idea. I've been calling them the golden dragon traits because I don't know.
Well, that's what they are.
But I didn't, in any of the alpha or beta, they didn't identify it as Paragon, or at least I didn't make the connection. But it does make sense.
Or maybe you didn't read it.
I'm not going to even respond to that because, ugh. But the Paragon traits, which basically provided damage and stamina boost, did not scale exponentially and instead had flat. What?
Talking about Diablo? I'm confused.
No. Instead had flat costs, which led to a large power gap and trait disparity among players and caused stress and social pressure in raid groups. If by stress and social pressure in raid groups you mean your raid team talking shit about you because you were not as advanced as other people, why yes, Blizzard, I do understand because I have had that happen to me and
Where's
I'm
your
the
third
fucking
relic?
guild master.
Yep.
Like, what a bunch of jerks. But that's okay, I'm over it. I don't even think about that anymore. It doesn't even
stupid face.
it doesn't even
It doesn't sound like you're over it.
I don't bear any ill will anymore over that. But yes, that was a problem. Now, for the 7.2 change, the high tier traits to scale exponentially in cost to reduce the power gap among players, boost artifact knowledge to be a better catch-up mechanism. I got to be really honest, though. I already feel the easy catch-up mechanic with artifact power because me and Rem, we leveled druids and we maxed the druids out a couple days ago, sent the compendiums, to get the level 20 on your knowledge, and then we did that the second we maxed. Then when we were doing world quest, we went and did the bunch of dungeons there's dungeons you have to do for your druid campaign. I had 13 traits in 3 dungeon runs that I could use because, that catch-up mechanic is there. I really appreciated those compendiums, and I didn't realize how much it was going to quickly catch my artifact up to where my main is, which is pretty nice. So I already liked the catch-up mechanic, but they are improving it further because I'm sure somebody who's better at gaming than me, meaning those guys that are like the best of the best when it comes to their alts and stuff, I don't know if they're feeling the burn, or maybe I don't know.
Within a week of leveling an alt, you can have your Paragon or / Golden Dragon traits.
Yeah, and it was pretty, it was a pretty good pace, and I did appreciate that I didn't feel like we've been leveling alts pretty much on a steady basis, right? And the reason we've been doing that is because the catch-up mechanic doesn't make it feel grindy for your alt to be able to get that really quickly. True. So the gear part is grindy, but that's just gear in general when you're dealing with that. But at least the main part, which is your weapon, doesn't feel as grindy. And then the misstep 2, so the issue number 2, having certain forms of content like Mob Souls be so appealing for artifact power over time, limited forms of content like raiding. So basically what we did here is we made it where, and PvP was really good for artifact power, right? So people ran a lot of PvP just to get that artifact power. What they did is they took certain things and said, okay, this is going to be better for artifact power than other things. It forced people into just those certain things, and then they're spam grinding and they're dealing with the same content instead of being able to mix it up with a plethora of other content. So for patch 7.2, adding a significant amount of artifact power to the weekly plus reward and diminishing the amount rewarded from repeated runs, right? The back-to-back-to-back. A hotfix also went live for Nighthold bosses to reward AP. So for those of you who have been grinding like Mob Souls, Gemma Banks, that's not going to really pay off anymore come 7.2 because they're going to level it out where it's sprinkling on all the different things that you can do, and then I'm assuming it'll probably go down in what you get with each. So if you run like 10 Mob Souls, by the time you're probably at like 5 runs, it's already depleted like the amount of AP power or of AP that you do get from it.
Oh, it actually, I thought it.
I mean,
Like it's basically like a diminishing returns on AP.
Yeah, so it's basically letting you know, like, you can keep spamming this same dungeon, but it's not going to do you any good spamming the same dungeon if it's strictly for artifact power, unless you're looking for a specific piece to drop, a trinket or something. But I do think that's good, to making it where just spamming the one isn't needed, because it does feel really grindy when you're doing the same, you have the same visual content every single, set of grinding that you're doing. It can feel, it'll feel less like progression and more like grinding, which I think
it does and it doesn't, but at the same time I don't think they just wanted, they didn't want us to do that. That's not how they envisioned us playing the expansion or
well, you have people that are doing the carry groups and sit in Maw Souls literally all day.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I haven't been doing many pet battles. My game time is consistent of just running Maw Souls, and I completed a 15. What up?
Did.
Well, and I think what I do appreciate is once again, this is one of the favorite reasons that I love Ian Hazacostas, because he is one of the few people that does not have a problem saying, hey, I screwed up. We did this, the team focused on this because we wanted this, like, I apologize, we screwed it up, we made these mistakes, and now we want to try to fix it. I appreciate that he has that honesty instead of bullshitting me. Don't be like, oh, well, this is the way we intended it, however, we're going to make these adjustments because the community's bitching. I appreciate your honesty. I want you to be real with me. You don't have to blow smoke up my ass for me to love you. I will love you and give you my $15 every month because you're honest with me, because that's how relationships should be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think anyway.
I guess. Oh.
You guess? All right.
He does.
Let's see. Next up. So, we talked about that legendary kill point thing. And they even kind of addressed it in a way and just said, these guys that are giving this stuff that's supposed to tell you what legendaries you should have, it's going to be wrong all the time because they're adjusting the drop rate on a constant basis. So the kill point thing, if you guys, even like I said before, it's novelty, but it's even more of a novelty now because they've stated, look, we're adjusting this rate drop on a constant basis. So it's going to be looking for things that are old, but that's not, it's unless they're figuring out our formula every single time we increase the drop rate, they're not going to be able to get it.
So they've admitted that they're just increasing it like a little bit more every so often?
Basically, how the rate at which players are acquiring the legendary items, this is something that they've kept a close watch on. They tried to avoid getting into too much technical detail when it came to telling us how to work the system, to be able to get that, just because they're constantly tweaking it. And if you tell the players this is what you need to proc it, this is exactly what the players will do, and they will not do anything except that one thing, because us as players, we tunnel vision, right? We tunnel vision on the eye on the prize. So when we tunnel vision that way, it kind of hinders us. So they are very careful to not kind of give us those things away. But many players,
I've seen 3 drop in 24 hours for somebody. Like, that's just
for one person.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, what? That was actually really nerve-wracking, because there's other people in the game that would love to have one. So
it's super frustrating, because it's not necessarily tied to your player specifically so much as everybody in game on that, doing that content
that's
procking. It's like buckets is what I think that's how I described it the first time. Everybody's doing the caches, everybody's doing the emissaries, everybody's doing the mythics, world bosses. All that is putting this stuff in the bucket. Once the bucket gets full, somebody gets lucky when that bucket overflows right as they've completed or done or turned in that specific item that does proc it. So that's the reason directly after a patch, whenever a patch is live and it's the first couple days of it being live, that's when you want to be on and be doing shit, because that's when everybody's going to be on running that content, and it just increases your chances, especially when a new raid tier is dropped and especially when a new dungeon is dropped, because people are going in and procking that to happen, and then if you're on there doing it, it's going to happen. Then there are people like our Guilty Aja, who this girl got like fucking 30 of them on one tune.
Yeah, but that was before they fixed anything.
They did, but she still gets them. But you also have to realize too, she does a lot in game. This girl runs back to back to back to back to back to back mythics. I am telling you, when this girl is on, this girl is doing not little teeny tiny things. She's doing big things because she's a healer. So people constantly need her to do stuff. That's the reason she's getting the legendaries, because this girl is farming the shit out of this content in all aspects and avenues because she's constantly helping guildies. So
I think it's just karma because she's such a nice person.
no, I think it's she. I think her character is procking that because she is running so much content that they're just like, here, dude,
That was good, Jimmy. I like that.
you deserve an award. Let's give you another fucking legendary because you're really putting in work. So I think, I think the more you do, obviously that's smart, right? The more you do, the more better chances you have. But
The more you know.
so they talked about how in 7.1 and 7.1.5, when the patches went live, your chance to receive a legendary increased pretty much in all cases. So in every aspect, you could get them. What you might not have noticed is that we've been steadily increases your chances since then. One of our long-term goals is to allow you to switch specific legendary items in and out as the situation warrants, and regularly increased drop chances is one way of ensuring that happens. I appreciate that this is their statement. Their statement is they would like you to be able to choose between a legendary given its situation. So if you're doing mythic dungeons, maybe you need a different legendary than when you're doing a raid. I think that that's amazing that they have that forethought. I also think that it's crap, and I'm going to be honest with you and tell you why. Because legendaries should be just that, legendaries. Do I think that you should have a plethora in your legendary arsenal? No, I don't appreciate that. I appreciate the reason that they're doing it, and I think that that's great. And my opinion doesn't matter to them at the end of the day. However, I do think that you should no longer call them legendaries, and you should call them basic bitch legendaries, because we're giving them to everyone all the time because you want us to have a legendary armory of things that we can pull at our leisure. Then they're not legendaries anymore. If I have 5 of them on one character, they're not legendaries to me anymore. They're a part of my gear. They are a part of who I am. They have become one with Belle.
They're all situational,
But it's not legendary anymore because we all have them and we all have several. And I'm not crying about getting legendaries. For the first person that comments is stop crying.
Okay. So did you consider the legendary cloak legendary? Maybe because you had to earn it?
Because I had to work hard for it. I had to grind my ass off. I had to work hard for it. And I loved that cloak.
Yeah.
And now it's useless.
But I think that they should call these a different word. Or maybe my line of thinking on what a legendary is should change, right? I'll give you guys that if that's your counter offer. Well, who decides what a legendary is? A legendary to me should be super ultra 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 rare. Like a once in a lifetime, thank you, honey. A once in a lifetime type of thing that you get. And maybe you get another one. But now we've obsessed the community over these legendaries.
I would consider the piece, my hidden artifact for my rogue legendary, because it's a pain in the ass to get.
Yeah.
Maybe they should start calling them something else besides legendary. Maybe legendary should be what it is, which is rare, right? It's a rare because you never know you can't farm it per se because there's no set thing to farm. Maybe I'm just looking at it the wrong way, because to me, legendary should be that super, thing that...
Yeah, I agree.
Well, when they first started talking about them, they made it sound like they're going to be super hard to get, and it's going to be 100% RNG.
And now people
you would
are
have to
requiring
farm
it for raids.
Weeks on end to even get one, whereas now it's kind of like people
Instead of it becoming the exception, it became the rule. And I feel like, what's the point now in these legendaries then? What have you done? You have taken the fun out of it for me, because now I'm going to be able to have several legendaries to choose from at my will, which is great. And I appreciate that Blizzard cares enough to want everybody to have it, but it's no longer legendary to me. It is a piece of gear that everybody's going to get, several of them. You're increasing the drop rate. You're no longer making me work for it, so it doesn't mean as much.
Well, you are working for it.
You are, but not really.
I know what you mean. The content's not hard. You're working for it in the sense that, the more you do, you get it. But it's not hard to complete your world quest to go get a chest. It's not hard to complete a mythic plus to get your chest each week.
Patch from now, am I going to be going yes when I get a legendary because I have 7 on one tune? No. I'm not going to be. It's just going to be whatever.
You're going to want to complete the set. So
I agree.
I think it's
you're going to be pumped because it's going to be the one you actually need.
Right.
I have both of mine are amazing.
Oh,
nice, grats.
But even if they weren't,
it's too late to change the names. It's too late.
No, I just feel like I just don't like the direction they took with the legendaries. It just
Right.
upsets me. But I think it's great, and those of you are going to be like, fuck you, I don't even have one. I'm just stating my opinion. It doesn't make me right. It doesn't. Blizzard doesn't listen to me. They don't give two shits what I say. I just
Most people have one by
Should
now.
not pay that.
this is how I feel, and I feel like when you take something that you're saying is going to be ultra rare and you start sprinkling it really easily for people to get, then it just loses its magic. And
Some people felt that way with the cloaks. I know you said we worked for cloaks,
Yeah,
but
we
They're
did.
legendaries,
just sprinkling those
legendaries was
everywhere.
not. Legendaries were not supposed to be like everyone has one either, right? So
No.
Now,
That
I don't
was-
agree with the term legendary for those cloaks, no. But I agree the reason they called them legendary is because there was a legendary quest line, that there was a work,
Yeah,
and
of
you have to
course.
put in work to be able to get it. Not everybody got there.
Right.
I would have liked it
Yeah.
to have been called something different, though. I agree with that. The same with the ring. I would have liked for it to be, but I guess that's just.
Well, in that case, the Warglaives of Azeroth shouldn't be considered legendaries.
But that's what I would call a legendary. Those are they don't drop all the time. To me, like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. I'm just.
no, you
the Boa
do know.
Archimon looks beautiful, but
I just feel like we took something that they did really well with, and I think they implemented it perfect, and I loved the way that they did it.
How
and-
about this, Belle? Okay, so let's go back. There's the hammer, there's Thunder Fury, there's the Warglaives, there's the bow, there's what is it? Frostmourne. There's
Valinar or what is it called from Ulduar? The
the hammer. Okay, so
Yeah.
so you have these specific items that are, class specific, expansion specific. So would it have been better for Legion? Like, okay, there was a cloak for Panda, there was the ring for Warlords. So would you have felt better if, hypothetically, Legion would have had like a class specific or spec specific legendary? Would that have been better? That way it's only one item per class. I say yeah, that would have
I agree with that because then it would have been, they should make it really difficult to get.
That's
and
what I'm
not
saying,
keep
yeah.
increasing drop chances. It should be literally where they don't adjust the difficulty.
Well, we know why they did that too. They
do.
they have to give everyone an increased chance to get them for those hardcore raiders
No,
or
and I'm okay
shinies
with that.
are what
But a lot of the
attracts
hard
the people.
raids or even heroics, like there's stuff you can't do unless you don't have your 2 best in slots.
Yep.
Or you can't get into pugs, or you can't do this because you don't have your best in slots. And I feel like, sure, I like a lot of the extra abilities a lot of these legendaries have, but I would have felt better if there was only, say, 1 to 2 legendaries per class, and it fluctuated based on your spec or whatever you wanted to do. Like, I would have been okay with that, but at the same time still made them really hard to get. Like, I wouldn't want to log in as a 110 and turn in 1 cash and then boom, here's your legendary. Like, I get it's RNG, I understand that, but I wouldn't want my RNG to be at a 110, like at 100% already. Like, I would actually want to earn it. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they ruined the magic a little bit for me, and that's okay because it's just one person. That's not everybody loves it, and people on the forums that were commenting on Oryx's post were all yay pump because more legendaries, cool, it's awesome. It just ruined the magic for me, and sometimes the harder to get stuff is where the magic lies for me, because it's really where I get to kind of enjoy the fruit of the labor. When you finally do get it, it really just, it feels like you worked really hard for it instead
Like
of
my
Blizzard
big love
pandering
rocket,
because everybody's
so
trying.
hard for that.
But now we've reached a point where now we're going to pander again. We're going to pander because everybody's QQing because the drop rate's on a legendary that should be a high drop rate, and it shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. I shouldn't. On 2 of my alts, within a week after maxing them, I already got a legendary, and I would like to wait. Just, you don't have to give it to me right away. I am fine waiting because it feels so good now. Like, the feeling of opening something and knowing that your legendary could be in there. It's great when you get it, but then
Or you'd be like Jimma and not open anything for months.
But then that magic, like, you lose that feeling that you have when you, it just feels good because you really put in a lot of work. I don't know.
Right.
I feel like
No,
we
I
pandered
agree with
again.
that.
We pandered, and I feel like in that pandering is where we fall from grace. But it's just one element, and I guess that's not that big of a deal. I can continue to not let it matter to me. Really.
They pandered a lot in Pandaria.
You're so stupid.
By the way, Jimmy Banks, what was in your chest?
Oh, did you
Oh,
open chest?
I did. I got 880 shoulders, which was exciting, but not at the same time because I only have one tier piece like you, Bell, and it's shoulders. But it was 5
That's usually
item
how it
levels.
works.
Yeah, it was 5 item levels higher, and it's
Not
better
good enough.
for my DPS spec. But I'll
Okay.
let you guys know next week what I got on my Mythic 15 chest because that should be crazy. Hopefully.
Cray.
All right.
Also hard.
They're the 21st, which by the time most of you listen and watch this, it should be already out. But they're doing a round of PvP, stuff.
Yay.
They're giving Unholy a
What?
huge. They're giving Unholy a huge buff in PvP, which is nice. I think Unholy needed a little bit of a buff as far as damage was concerned. They did a lot of good sustained damage, but it wasn't really anything to brag about. So I think why are you laughing at me? Did I tell a joke?
Oh, sorry.
What is funny?
I don't know.
Why are you laughing?
Well, we're laughing now because it's funny how
My
mad you are.
RTO is humorous.
Tell him to not bother us during the show. Yeah, so actually Unholy, this is all, it's not all PvP, there's some PvE stuff. They increase the Summon Gargoyle, the Virulent Plague, and the Dark Arbitor. I don't know how to say that, guys. I can barely speak English. They did get a buff in PvE and PvP, it looks like, situations. I'm trying to...
Who cares?
There's a lot of really good class stuff here. The Druid reduced the cast time of Healing Touch. Nourish will now only apply Regos Heal over time effect. Hunter Survival now deals 20% less damage in PvP. And the PvP template agility has been reduced by 2.5. Marksman Healing Shell now heals for full value in PvP. Aim Shot now deals an additional 5% damage in PvP, and then they've increased the template for agility, haste, mastery, and armory by quite a bit, actually. Beast Mastery got a little bit of a buff for their stat templates as well. For fire, Cauterizing Blink for fire mages heal has been reduced by 33% in PvP situations, and their intellect and stamina have been reduced by 5. Fire's a little bit overpowered, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I had a fire mage basically shit on my face. It was awful.
That's because
Did they eat well, or was it?
No, it was just
running?
it was like I was there and I was engaged, and then I was dead, and I literally was like, oh, well, that was fun. I'm ignoring you guys because you're gross. And then let's see, for Holy Paladins, Avenging Crusader once again ignores line of sight when healing. Fixed a bug that caused spreading of the word to make Blessing of the Freedom trigger cleanse for their cooldown. And then Retribution PvP template for strength has been increased by 3%. Priest for Disc, Inner Renewal now causes Power Word Radiance to refund 25% of its mana cost when self-cast, was 50%. And then Rogue for Assassination, looks like a bug fix. And then Wound Poison's healing reduction effect has been reduced to 20% in PvP, which is down by 24. And then they reduce their agility template. I don't know what any of that means. I just hope it means I can kill them, because that would be great. And some more template adjustments for all 3 specs of the Shaman. Warrior looks like they're getting a little bit of a template buff as well. I'm assuming it's probably because of all the warriors QQing about how shitty they are in PvP recently. Which I've even seen. If it's really easy for me to kill a warrior, I know that they've fallen from grace a little bit as far as damage and stuff.
I don't mind killing warriors.
Destruction Warlock Chaos Bolt damage has been increased by 25% in PvP situations. I can get down with that. Reverse Entropy reduces the cast time of Chaos Bolt by 0.25 seconds in PvP situations, was 0.5. That doesn't really, honestly, that point doesn't even matter. Backdraft reduces the cast time of Chaos Bolt and Incinerates by 15%, was 30. So they gave that part a little bit of a nerf. But the Chaos Bolt got a little buff, which is really, in my eyes, what matters.
They buff damage, nerfed cast time.
And right. And then Demonology, the intellect and haste increased by 50% for their PvP template, and then versatility and mastery reduced by 25%.
They did not need an increase.
Get it together. And then they're reworking a little bit of Mistweavers in 7.2, and I'm not really sure because they do pretty well, and they're very well balanced in my opinion. They might be slightly overpowered as far as heals are concerned in PvP, and really in PvE in general. Mistweavers are just one of those that have always been really good with their heal rotation, even through all the changes of the different expansions. Mistweavers have just been really solid like that.
They've been very steady.
Yeah, you could just cash that check. Nice. Like, you know it's going to be good.
Cash them outside.
How about that? You knew we had to, guys. The whole world is... And Jim has got a good one because he chose Mistweaver, so he gets, he gets to be... He doesn't really have to deal with a lot. Occasionally they'll nerf a little bit, but, I mean, it's just one of those go-tos for heals, and it's fun healing. I do, of all the healing... Is. Yeah, Jimma, can you show us?
Yeah, show us how to
look like when you...
Dude, you got to do it, man.
They really are cool. I really am pleased. I was very concerned going into the expansion, selecting the monk as like my main, and I couldn't be happier. I enjoy the other specs as well, and there's just doesn't seem to be a lot of monks out there. Like a lot of people seem to be looking for a monk healer. Kind of.
They're OP.
You should step up.
Good, right?
Step up to the plate. No. Now, our officer and a good friend of mine, Cash, aka Matt, did bring to my attention that I hadn't really addressed it on the show, and I needed to make sure I've talked about it in a video that I haven't posted yet, but I have it. I just need to
address it with Ranch.
I just need to finish the voiceover for it. But so in regards to Order Hall resources, so I know you guys probably are not aware of what's coming in 7.2, and also you should know that I think we could probably look for 7.2 to coincide with the next quarter. I think what they might be doing, and this is just Bell thinking because I think how they think from a business standpoint, I think their evergreen content patches and stuff might coincide with their quarters to help with the bottom line. I don't fault you for that, Blizzard. You want to keep giving me patches every quarter. I want to keep taking them. I don't even mind. But I think it's going to be coming a lot sooner than we think because Ian keeps saying on the horizon with patch 7.2 on the horizon. Well, if you're telling me that shit's on the horizon, then I should be able to grasp the release date in my hand if it's on the horizon.
Like winter?
Yeah, I just feel like they're preparing us for it to be soon. They keep doing these builds in PTR, and I thought perhaps we were going to be looking farther out. You could probably bet that it'll probably coincide with perhaps the BlizzCon the BlizzCon announcement. I don't know if any of that means anything to anyone.
I don't know. The Horizon California is way the hell out on the ocean.
So you want to farm and stock all of your Order Hall resources, and here's the reason why. We're getting 2 new tiers of Order Hall upgrades. The first one, which is going to cost 20k, you get your choice. You get your choice between either a new type of troop that you can recruit to help with your missions, or you can increase your active followers by 1, which means it'll be a total of 6 followers.
Ooh,
and that's 20k resources. Now the last one, this is probably the most important one, and this costs 30k resources, so you're looking at a total of 50 that you'll need for both of those. The last one will allow your relic to affect 2 traits instead of 1, which is a huge thing. So you definitely want to make sure you have your 50k. Like, just go and do it. There's no cap on resources, so every time there's a world quest up for resources, just boom, boom, boom. That way when 7.2 drops, just go and do it. Or farm the Blood of Sargeras.
I was going to say, Sargeras is,
Hold your Blood of Sargeras, go and pew, 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 and get that. I
went from 0
to 20.
Per every 4 world quests on all my followers, because I've been blessed to have the the armament that gives 100 resources. Then I have the 50, so 150 automatically. Then I have I spec'd into getting resources for world quests, so that gives another 100. So you're looking at 250 per world quest on top, and so
bank those with the Blood of Sargeras because you can buy 200 resources per Blood of Sargeras.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to save my bloods for when the guild needs resources and stuff like that. I haven't sent you, by the way.
But this is for people who don't utilize that, though. People who, like me, my Blood of Sargeras on Bell just sits in the bag. I don't do anything with it. I do if I need to make something for a guildie that they don't have the money to buy mats for, but basically now I didn't realize I needed to be focused on farming those resources. I had like 500. I just didn't care because I didn't need them. Well, now I realize, like when I went through the video that hasn't been released yet because I'm not finished with it, but when me and Cash had this conversation, I was like, shit, I really didn't tell the guys about it. Everybody needs to be aware, because that 50K is a lot. And you don't need to have the 50 up front. You could just at least get your 20K, but why not? We have time until the expansion. People don't have anything better to do. Go do it, because you want...
And that's why people aren't doing it, though, because...
You want your relic to give you 2 traits. You want your relic to affect 2 traits. I mean, that would be... Because you know how sometimes we have to choose, and we're like, oh, which one do I choose? True. Well, you can have 2. So,
I choose you.
And then the increase your follower by 1. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's a pretty big deal. Because your follower plus another one of your troops can complete a mission. So you can have multiple missions. So it's plus... Most of us have bodyguards, right? Especially on my ults. If on one of my healers, I have like a tank bodyguard, so that I don't have to tank stuff because I'm a healer. But then that means you can have 5 followers plus your bodyguard. So definitely save that. Now, I did double check. I confirmed right before we started the show. I was in PTR. I did confirm they have not increased the eye level cap of your followers. It's still 850. However, you can increase their quality, right? You have rare, epic, all that stuff. Somebody's getting ice in my refrigerator. You have rare, epic, and all that stuff. You can now increase it to get them titled, and titled will unlock a 3rd equipment slot.
Jesus Christ.
That's a powerhouse of missions, because they want to keep doing what? They want to make sure you're using your mission table so that you can continue to get them.
Yeah, because they don't want me to have 25 followers like the garrison and then 50 people sitting inactive because I got a new person every week.
Right. So now they're focusing more, not on so much quantity as much as they are quality now, but you can unlock, you have to get them to the titled quality to be able to do that, which is an insane amount of experience. Like, I looked and I was like, holy fuck, that's like a lot of work to do it, but you can unlock. And like most of us, we do our armament, our equipment armaments, and we just kind of toss those out every time they're up. It's just mostly because I want it to go away, so I just constantly add because I don't want to look at it anymore. And I bank those. Those sit in my bank. All the equipment items that you get, it just goes in the bank because I can't use them, but I don't want to throw them away.
I've been vendoring them, and I didn't want to. I probably had enough to, if they decided to buff, the item level to like say 875 or whatever. I had enough probably for all 8 followers, but I was like, they're not going to do it. They didn't do it in Warlords.
No, but it's good that I would recommend swapping out all your followers at some point to just make use of those so that all your followers, no matter what, are 850. But now...
Oh, no, I have that. I did all that already.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, everyone's 850. Everyone has, 2 armaments, attached to them. But I use the ones that have the best
that upgrade their item level?
Best. Yeah, all that's done. So
now,
I mean, if
use and save, right? Keep doing it till you get the good ones. Put that in your bank and save it, because you will be able to have that 3rd slot available on all of your. And you don't necessarily have to have 6 followers. That tier allows you to choose a different recruit, and the recruit is super buffed. I know what it looks like for the warlock. Obviously, it's different for every class, but it's super. Like, mine was super buffed. Just looking at the recruit that I could have is super buffed. So you don't necessarily have to be locked into that one thing. But keep, farm, and do all your order halls stuff. Even if you think you don't need it, just farm it and put that shit aside for a rainy day and do the cha-cha, because good things. I don't know what that means. That was kind of weird. Now, I put a call out on Twitter for a topic for discussion before we move into our lore segment. And the topic of discussion is, what do you think of level scaling for the holiday bosses? This is a 2-part question, so we'll start with the level scaling for the holiday bosses. Do you guys have an opinion on that? What do you think? Do you think it should be done? Do you think it shouldn't be done? Basically, with the level scaling, just in case you don't understand what the question or what it does, they've allowed, whether you are level 15 or level 100, to be able to zone in and do the holiday stuff. So I could take my level 20, as long as they're able to do dungeons, and I can go do the Crown Chemical Co. and be okay to do that because of the scaling. Should that be allowed?
I don't see it a big deal. I mean, they
as
did
long
it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they did all the worlds, or excuse me, all the sections of Legion where it scaled you to the mobs. So it did. I could have been fighting a 101 thing, and Remedies could have been 109 fighting the exact same thing, and it scaled for him and me at the exact same time. So I don't see it as a big deal. I mean, it's the exact same concept.
Well, what about the rest of you?
As long as that's something that's pivotal, like important, like the event, it doesn't really matter. It just gives more options to farm something on or anything like that. It just gives more flexibility in being able to do things. But as long as it's not like going to be max level dungeons, you could be lower level. I mean, scaling I have no issues with.
What do you think, Jim?
I don't really have an opinion either way.
Well, the second part of that is, should everything in World of Warcraft be scaled? Now, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret.
Not really.
I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. So in the very beginning when we talked about, it's good for me and Rem because we can be different levels and we can level together and all that. And I thought, what a great idea is this, right? How awesome is that? Let me tell you guys a little secret. I actually fucking hate it. And I'm going to tell you why I hate it. And those of you that feel the way that I do will feel just in your heart why I hate it. Nothing made me feel good in the leveling process like getting maxed out, gearing, and going back and getting fucking revenge on shit that pissed me off while I was leveling. I don't get to do that anymore.
People do that.
They took that away from me with Legion. That's great, guys. It's cool that we get to do that. I love that I get to, like, Rem could be 105 and I could be 101 and we could level the same. Like, I love that. However, you took away my revenge, which to me is a rite of passage for any player. Now,
True.
If they ever decided to scale all the rest of World of Warcraft, I would probably have a mental breakdown. Because I love going to Hellfire Peninsula, and I love kicking the shit out of those fucking Fell Reavers who literally one-shot me during my leveling. Like, there are just mobs that I go back and I just fucking wreck because it feels good.
We could have Hogger raids back, guys.
Oh, God. So, for the topic, for the discussion aspect of it, no, I don't think that they should do that. I'm pissed off they did it for Legion. I'm adapting because I'm finding the positive, right? I'm making the good use out of it. But it upsets me because they took that away from me. I would like them to have put I would like for it to have been normal. And you move on to a map when you're level appropriate. That would have been...
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I'm used to, so maybe I'm just stuck in my grumpy old ways, So I'm not saying, to their credit, that's a good thing that they allowed it where it's easy for people to level together. So I do see the good there, but I don't get my revenge now. Because if I go to kill a mob that I tried to kill when I was 104, it's the same level as me now. It's no fun. There's no revenge there. Does anybody else feel that way, or am I alone?
I get revenge as I'm already killing them the first time.
Oh,
Ooh, savage.
I mean, I feel like
When
it's
you
not
get a good mouse, you can kill things the first time.
I fucking hate you. Remedy's got my dream mouse, and I'm very sad because he's living my dream.
Aren't you happy?
Only
for him?
because
I'm very
mine
happy.
checked out.
I'm happy
Can't you
because
go buy it?
And I just don't have the money right now. We moved, and first month of
I
bills
told her
when you
had
first
these,
move
but
are
you know,
just.
she didn't.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm not everybody can have friends that buys their tattoos and piercings, guys. We can't all have that. That was a real salty shade towards my daughter, and that was.
I don't
really
even
mean.
know. I don't even know which mouse it is.
It's the new Corsair one that that Bajira
That looks like
put
a cell phone on the side.
Bajira put his
Jesus.
name on. So the keys are mechanical. The side
What?
keys are
Yeah, it's
mechanical.
mechanical
It's
switches,
a
like,
beautiful. So when Bajira did the video on this, now it's no secret that Belle is a Corsair junkie, right? And it's not because of Bajira. It's because I love Corsair products. I literally love Corsair products. So I have
Big hand, little hand.
I have the Corsair that's made for FPS. This is my Chaos Bolt button. But I have a Corsair and I love everything. I have the keyboard. So when I
love
watched
my
this
Logitech.
video, Bajira did a video on this specific mouse and I was just like in awe. Now Bajira talked about how they worked closely with several different styles of gamers to develop a mouse that was just perfect for big hands and little hands. Perfect for the
Because he
different
has a
things.
gigantic hand.
He has a gigantic hand. The side keys actually will allow you to move it up or below depending on how big your hand is, which I think is just real out of the box thinking when it comes to gamer gear. So when me and Rem talked about this, like I love Corsair everything, and he like talked about wanting to get it. So he got it first because his mouse broke. My mouse has not broken, but I'm thinking of throwing it down the stairs so that my husband will be forced to let me spend the money. I don't spend it unless I absolutely need to, and it's a want at this point. It's not a need because my mouse works fine. But Every day, me and Rem ask my husband if his mouse is fine because I feel like he might want my old one so I can upgrade. But the hotkeys are all mechanical on the side, and each row is a different feel. Like it's fucking beautiful. What's it called? I can't pronounce it, Rem.
The scimitar.
The scimitar. So if anybody wants to buy me the black scimitar,
Curved swords.
you can send it to
Yeah, I know, right?
P.O. Box Bell doesn't need a mouse, but would really love that mouse. But it's on my to-buy list. It's on my Amazon wish list. I just need to wait because, guys, I have responsibilities. Apparently, I have to be a responsible gaming mother.
Still staying off topic, but with WoW, the MMO style mouse is definitely a advantage. Only an advantage. It's
for sure
makes things simpler.
For sure, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's not really off topic. The gaming gear is really important, and I don't ever go on the record and tell you guys to buy shit because I don't. I love Corsair products, so I would tell you to buy that stuff all day. And I don't get money from Corsair or free products to tell you that. It's stuff that I use
I rep
and
Detroit
love
all day, and they don't send me anything. So
yeah. But it's Corsair. I've been using.
It's right here, guys. It's right here. It's in the heart.
I've been using
That's
their keyboard and mice for quite a while, and I'm just in love. And I'm really happy that Remedies is seeing because Remedies is a Logitech man, and I'm really happy that he's seeing the good parts of Corsair. But we went a lot off topic there. So
is it nice getting your revenge? Yes, but is it a big deal to not get it?
It's not that big of a deal.
No.
It's just one of those things that in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that serious.
Well, the one thing that you could complain about, because like you like getting your revenge, you could say like that takes a lot of work. Maybe they could work on new content, so I could see that being more of a beef. But I don't know. I think it's a good thing to maybe
scaling everything previously they shouldn't do, but going forward, I think scaling how they have it set where it's like if you're half a level above, it's still below you. And all that good stuff.
Maybe good compromise is a good idea, Rem. I like what you're going with that. Maybe a good compromise is for next expansion after Legion doesn't scale. No? Is that not a good compromise?
Yeah, it's not bad. But didn't we say like months ago when we thought of the idea of things scaling to our level while we were leveling in old content was kind of good? So like
no, I would never want it in old content, no.
What?
Because you lose that feeling of being able to go back to the map and easily farm a spot.
Yeah,
it's easy for you because you've I feel like it's fine in the expansion we're in, which is great, but I feel like there's still a lot of people that farm old stuff. And I just like the feeling of
that shouldn't change.
One-shotting stuff.
That's prior to Legion should still be whatever it is.
Every now and then. What'd you say?
Go ahead. I was just going to say, like, for instance, Duskwallow Marsh, you'll go there and you'll be at bigger level. You won't even really want to finish the quest chain. I think that would almost encourage people to finish more of the quest chain.
No, I do want to finish it. It's easy then, right? Because you put in your work there. I put in my time in that prison.
Well, I'm saying while you're leveling. So say you're on an alt or you've got your heirlooms on and you out level every zone in like not even half the quest thing, and usually we'll just move on. So again, it's not a big deal either way, but I like the idea of like,
with just one dungeon.
I feel like we have to have maps where I can go and one-shot you because I don't know that feeling in current content, right? I don't know that feeling of being able to one-shot a mob. I miss those days of lighting everything on fire with my Rain of Fire and everything is dead in one Rain of Fire versus several Rain of Fires and a Chaos Bolt. I think we need to have that place to go to just one-shot. Like sometimes I'll go to Elwyn Forest and I'll just one-shot bears. You want to know why? For no other fucking reason other than I want to feel powerful because everything is a struggle, which is good, guys. I'm not knocking that everything is a struggle. I think it's great. I miss being able to go to a lower map in current content and not feel like everything's a fight for my life. But Suramar's not a fight for my life anymore. So I've out item leveled dying in Suramar, to be perfectly honest. I could pull a whole bunch of shit and it doesn't even faze me. So it's not too terrible. I would never want it retroactive. I would never want it for the previous expansions because
True.
No. You don't want boars in the forest to kill us?
Well, then there would be no order, right? When people level the old-fashioned way, there'd be no order. What map would you start on? Everything would be chaos and mayhem.
It'd be easier for double agent to level.
That too, but for newer players though, like because it's kind of when you're a newer player, it's kind of overwhelming. Like, where the hell do I go?
No, for new players, it's easy because you know exactly
Oh yeah, they
tells
tell
you
you the
in
quest
numbers,
chain.
it,
You're
and
right.
it sends you in a in a nice organic flow to
Yeah.
the next place. Where now with Legion, there isn't a flow to the next place. The flow is you're done.
Within the zone.
You
Yeah.
go
But
back
didn't
to your
we
order
enjoy
hall.
that? Like I know you said maybe Legion and going forward, but wasn't that just so good for Legion that we could do that? Like
It's good with a buddy. When you're with a friend, it's a great thing, right? It's good for you because you guys can just come together at any point.
well, you were able to go do another zone while you waited for Rem to go
Well-
to work, and then you could pick up in the same area.
What I would do is I would actually go on another alt. So we would have several alts who would be leveling at the same time, and each alt would start in a different zone.
Oh,
So
she's
we
Not at
would
the
level
start
the
of the
one.
expansion, though.
And what she does is she goes and does side quests and out levels you.
It was an
Ooh.
accident.
But
I don't
because
know
of
how
the
that
mechanics,
happened.
you're still able to quest together.
Yeah, and I do like that. So I'm definitely not, but I think I don't want us to go down this slippery slope of everything scaled because, I appreciate the holiday thing scaled, I guess. I think I'm not going to make any friends here, but I think if I were the person doing it, I would say no to scaling for the holiday events. I would say that your tune needs to be at least this and this because any schmuck can go.
So like 20 to 29.
Anybody can
the way
go level
PvP used to
a
be.
bunch up to 15 in 5 minutes and then just use that as a means of farming. I'm not knocking it, guys. Farm however you want. It's your $15. Do I think that they should have done that? No, I don't. In my opinion, I don't agree with that. I think it should be level 90 maybe, depending on the holiday. You know what I mean? Whatever. I think that was the basis before, which is totally fine. It needs to be at least level 90. I think now we're getting ridiculous where we have tunes on several servers that are farming this amount and we're just out of control. It's not, I don't knock it. If that's what you guys are doing, that's cool. I don't particularly agree with it, but it doesn't affect my day. Like, I'm not going to sit and cry about it, but
Well, the viewers can chime in as well in the comments,
yeah, I
right,
want to know.
and
Tell
voice
me
their
what you
opinion.
guys think. Do you think, where do
Level
you
90, I still have like 5 servers I can have
What-
teams run on.
What do you guys think about the scaling in holidays? I mean, I'm sure it's not like brain busting to
for
have an
it.
opinion, but
I'm for it. I mean, it just allows you, again, if you're in that particular holiday, you just happen to be really into the warrior you're leveling, you can just queue for it, or it also gives everyone that much more chance and success because, a lot of us would have, say, 8 max level tunes and you run it every day. There's people that are that much more dedicated. They do it on 14 tunes because they'll do it on their lower level tunes. So I think players also just want more opportunities to get those yearly mounts.
well, and I think the reason they did it was for people that did not have a max level tune, right? That was
That as well.
the idea behind it. Now, here's what I would tell you: if it would have been me, I would have implemented that specifically for accounts that didn't have a max level. That would be the way that I would have implemented that, because if that was the reason you're doing it, then that should be the reason and the allowance made for it. But they can't really do that, right?
I was gonna say that'd be pretty hard to.
They
make
can,
it,
but
yeah.
people would be pissed off. People would be like, "Well, rah, rah, rah." So I understand. It would not be the way that I would have went about it, but as long as they just don't touch the old content and leave that alone, I think I'm okay with that. I'll be, I just miss my revenge. But my revenge will come when we go to a different place or when we have the next expansion, then I can go back to Legion. Hopefully I don't know if that scaling will go past that, right? So if the new cap is 120, will the scaling code even work for,
Right.
120?
So there'd be
maximum?
no reason for Broken
Any
Isles to
scaling-
be pushed back 110.
Yeah. I just would really, I want revenge on some things. Those fucking shadow unicorn, equinox, whatever the fuck they're called, the black unicorns, they're evil, guys. They're evil.
That's why they're black.
No, it's because it's death. They're like Satan.
Yeah, they're death, and then they have the majestic
And
ones
they have
that
the
are, like, all
fire,
nice
right?
and
They're black with the
licking.
fire. That fire's bad.
Yeah.
That means Satan is going to
Those
kill
are
you.
gonna kick your ass.
They do. The white ones are really nice, though, because they're pleasant. That's why. They're rainbowish, right? They're very rainbowish. The other one's very dark and mysterious, and you
But
think...
they're gonna steal your kidneys.
Right!
And they shit right ice cream.
Fucking poor Charlie. Candy Mountain, Charlie. But I do want to get, I want to get revenge.
Come on,
because
Charlie, it's Candy Mountain.
You just hang on to things too much. Gotta let
But
things go.
I just miss it. That's all. I was just... Comments on the show if you remember getting revenge. What was your mob? I want to know your revenge
Mine
mob.
was the Murlocs on
the Murlocs?
Dusk.
Duskwood?
What's the forest by the shore? You know,
That's
when you
so
start
funny.
as
There's
a
so
night elf.
many.
Yeah, I saw
There's
you
like
start
20s.
right.
What
See-
continent?
Tedrasil?
No.
Night elves after you come over from
Oh, Dark Shore.
Dark
Oh,
Shore.
it
excuse
is
me,
Dark
yes.
Shore.
And I was like level 14, and those Murlocs were crazy. And then I found out about the auction house, and I didn't really know anything. This was still during vanilla, and I'm like, you can get a gold for an egg or whatever the eggs were. So I'd like go farm an egg and never sold anything on the auction house. So that was my
Secret, what was your revenge mob?
Fuck. There's probably a lot of them, but Stranglethorn Vale, any type of animal in that fucking place. Because, you know, they weren't like sporadically placed.
Oh,
they
yeah.
were really, like this far apart from each other. So you couldn't like dodge them. You had to like, you were in the shit. And fuck those things.
I remember
So-
going there, and things were
Fuck your
orange and
couch.
red to me.
Yeah.
tough.
Oh my god. I mean, I hated the zone anyways because it was, you know, Skullcrusher at the time was a very PvP heavy zone. So I had like animals and assholes. So I was screwed.
Shit on.
Yeah. No pun
Rem,
intended.
what was your revenge mob?
The Panic of Fell Reaver and Hellfire.
Told you. I literally would see the ground shake leveling, and I would freak out and I would run because I knew that ground shaking was bad for business. Literally,
And he moved kind of quick too.
he did. He was big, and
Lot
usually
quicker
the
than you
big
thought.
moved really slow. But yeah, no, the Fell Reaver was pretty quick as shit. When it comes at you, man, it's a scary situation. But I do remember very distinctly maxing out and going back there and being like, "Fuck you, Fell Reaver," and just
If I ever go
farming
out there
them.
and I see it, I kill it.
And I just want to know if they feel my pain. If you are listening, tweet to the PWNCAST or tweet at the PWNCAST or at Bella PWNCAST. Tweet to me or comment to me or email to me your revenge mob. I want to know what your revenge mob was, what you went back and killed after you maxed out. So let us know. Good conversation, good topic of discussion. I appreciate that topic of discussion actually came from, hold please, that specific topic. I made a call out for topics and some of them were really funny. That specific topic, oh my, that came from Tiber. Tiber's the one that sent that in.
Is that short for Tiberius?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's related
Yes.
to Cyber.
Tiber uppercut.
And Yepex I think he's at For the Horde. Let me see what his
Yeah, that guy
yeah
chirped
at
me
For
on
the
Twitter.
Horde 2 on
Did
Twitter.
you say Yepix?
Yeah, Yepex. So he sent me a mail. He sent me a mail or a message, a DM on Twitter, freaking last Tuesday, and I completely. I don't know if I just didn't. I don't know what happened, but I just was like, "Holy crap! I apologize. I missed this." He had a question. He wanted to know. He wanted to know some lore info on the Darkmoon Faire Master, which is Silas Darkmoon, and if you died, ghosts give the impression that the gnome is much older than he claims to be, and supposedly has a very dark past. So we had put Rem on the case to find information on the mysterious Silas Darkmoon, the Darkmoon Faire Master, and I wanted to know, Rem, what were you able to find out?
On his actual background, not
Yeah.
much at all. Like, he is mysterious incarnate.
He's a ghost.
No, he's like literally there's nothing on him specifically. It's more about what's going on around him. Like, it's all about Darkmoon. Anything that involves him, it's just Darkmoon. It's nothing, like, there's no background on him.
How did he become the Darkmoon Faire Master? Why is there a Darkmoon Faire? What?
He just started collecting all the freaks.
Oh, that hurts.
Well, that's what they're family freaks.
I mean,
Like,
he
that's
he picked him up at night too. So
So is there any tinfoil hatting on who he is and where he came from?
not that I could see. There's probably conspiracy theories on it, but I couldn't find anything. I'd have to look on Reddit to see if there's any type of actual tinfoil hat going on.
So what you're saying is you have nothing for me.
I told you beforehand, Silas Darkmoon.
But I asked if he wanted to do something different, and you were like, "No, we could." You liar! You lie.
I didn't lie.
So there's nothing at all. Like you got there's zero squat, nothing.
Nothing substantial.
We don't care
Just
about
say who he
substantial at
is.
this point, but give me what you found. I know you found something in the universe.
It's just basically nothing on Silas Darkmoon. It's only stuff about the family freaks.
Well, what is about them? Who they be?
Well, there's only stuff showing up in old comics was where they're doing a show in South Shore, and this gentleman named Carrie Hicks was accused. Carrie Hicks, if you don't know, is the strongest woman in the world.
You
The
mean
one
Belle,
that you get.
right? Belle.
You're a warlock. You're not strong. You're pew 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 pew.
That's funny.
When you get the quest for the Grizzly trophies and all that, that's Carrie Hicks. And she was wrongfully
Oh.
accused.
I did that. I did the Grizzly trophy recently. Well, I know it was really embarrassing that it was barely recently, but I did.
No, but you're just like, ooh.
Well, because I didn't know there was a story behind it because I didn't pay attention to the quest. So that was nice to
read any of
know.
it.
I didn't read any of it. I picked it up and then it was in my quest log and I was getting sick of looking at it, so I went and turned it in after I completed it. So she's the strongest woman in the world in Azeroth.
That's what she claims.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But she was accused by someone in South Shore of killing his brother, and his skull was crushed, and so that was why she was the obvious choice. So she was put in jail, and there was no trial. She was put to execution. And so the family freaks comes in where Silas looks out for his own. And instead of, because they weren't able to prove her innocence because of their freaks, they had the whole town against them. And they broke her out. And then they killed what was it? Cedric Falrook was the person that accused and put the blame on her. And what's creepy is in Darkmoon, everything is peaceful where you can't attack other people, and while you're in the Darkmoon Faire, there's no battling, and everything is
Friendly.
peacetime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're digging a hole, and they put him in the dirt with his dead brother. And as they're putting the dirt in, Cedric goes, I forget the line, but it was something along the lines of, you guys are all about being peaceful. Like, we're not in the Darkmoon Faire right now. And they bury him alive.
Oh,
It's pretty dark.
yeah. Like the fair.
I'm going to be really honest. I never understood the Darkmoon Faire to begin with. It's not on my list of things I do. I don't really care for it, but I mean, I think it's a cool concept. I just don't.
I cared for it at BlizzCon.
I just don't understand what
It's
it's.
cool to set up, right?
I mean,
Yeah, when they don't
that's
run out of
cool.
pins.
It isn't.
Still salty, dude.
I guess
you,
I
man.
would like to know, like, where. They are not giving us a name. It's just this mysterious place that just happens, and you just go there. Which I guess is,
My tinfoil hat is
his
he's
death.
made a bargain with old gods.
Yeah, I mean,
and the old gods allow him to
I can see
operate.
that. Yep.
That and like his whole mysteriousness, and his supposedly living longer. He could be there. I don't think they're gonna like make a whole deal about him being like some powerful thing, but
Maybe he's harvesting
think he's-
souls.
maybe
Maybe.
because a lot of people that actually die, and the ghost that what was it? Subex was talking about? Yepix, sorry.
Yepix. Have you guys ever seen Something Wicked This Way Comes?
No.
Is that the?
So the Darkmoon Faire
Oh.
reminds me of Something Wicked This Way Comes, and it's a movie from, I want to say, the 1950s or 1960s. It's an old black and white movie, and it's this movie about this traveling carnival, and essentially the carnival does steal souls. But whenever I first entered the Darkmoon Faire, I would sing the Something Wicked This Way Comes theme song because it's what it would
How's it
remind me
go?
of that. And a lot of people would be like, "What are you even talking about?"
That is a valid question. How does it go?
It's not
How's it
happening,
go?
guys. It's not happening. But for any of you that are my older people that would, even though I mean, I'm pretty old, but my older ones that would remember, the reason I know is because my dad had me watch it when I was younger because it was something my dad watched when he was a kid.
Yes. He wants your soul to be
Something
taken.
Wicked This Way Comes and The Day the Earth Stood Still, the originals, which are two excellent movies that were way ahead of their time. But that's what the Darkmoon Faire reminds me of. It does
A lot of
remind me
mash.
of Something Wicked This Way Comes a little bit, and the soul stealing. I want to believe that there's like a nefarious reason for there being the Darkmoon Faire there, and maybe they're just depleting your souls little by little, and you just never even know.
We already killed Nefarious.
I hate you.
But yeah, no, the ghosts that he's talking about, they actually show like a borderline obsession with staying there, and so it might be a form of mind control for some of the people, and it might be some type of sacrificial stuff going on with the souls. Maybe
Maybe.
he keeps the island as long as he sacrifices carnies.
This
I
just
did see
in.
one less
Jaina
fire
is the
juggler.
new freak, right? She's the
Yeah.
resident bearded
Freak?
dreadlord.
Wait, you're joining the carnival?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Bearded lady.
So, Yepix, there you go. We did attempt to find some information. Tinfoil Hat is the old gods have somehow allowed Silas to live longer, to, harvest souls
Info hat.
into a sweater, a lovely knitted sweater for his mother, or something
The
weird.
best time
Mhm.
to wear a striped sweater.
So weird. So yeah, tweet or email or DM or,
Yeah, I apologize. This was
Something.
put on yesterday.
just if you have something lore related that you've always wanted to know, Rem will dig into it and come up with absolutely nothing. Just kidding.
10 hours, guys. 10 hours.
I just thought it was
10
funny
hours.
because it was not 10 hours. I told you. Make
10
me
hours.
fact check on you before you try to throw me under the bus and make me feel bad. Because I told you yesterday, and
As I was going to bed.
okay, I did tell you it was like 7. I messaged him back at 7:28, and I had messaged you the same time I messaged him. So yeah, it was,
Well, so.
but it's not 10 hours.
Does that
it's,
make you wrong?
No, it just
Yeah.
made me wrong. It just makes it not 10 hours. He said I told him 10 hours ago. No, you had a full evening
10
and day.
hours of work.
First of all, you were on Facebook with me 90% of your workday. So
Don't matter.
I
You're
don't
getting paid.
even. Well, I'm saying, like, if you could be in Facebook chat with me, then you could certainly make your research happen. I'm just giving him shit. He did try to find
Yes,
stuff,
you are.
and he did tell me that there was not a lot of stuff out there. So maybe you guys could give your opinions. Why don't you comment on the show? Tweet at remedies _ PWNCAST and tell him what you think Silas Darkmoon is all
There's
about.
like 7 messages. Calm down. All I said is I'm on Buckeye Road.
Our Facebook, the day in the life of Bell and Remedy's Facebook conversations consists of us speaking to each other via GIFs and memes.
Oh, shit.
So we don't actually have conversations, we just exchange. One of these days I'm going to screenshot. And we know exactly what we're talking about based off these GIFs. If you know me on Facebook and I respond to you with a GIF, it's not because I'm trying to blow you off. It's because that's how I interpret. Like, I speak through memes, GIFs, and interpretive dance. Like, that's how I communicate with people. And it's because oftentimes there's a perfect GIF for what I'm feeling or what I want to say. So if you were to look, if I were to screenshot mine and Remedy's day to day, it's just glorious because the GIFs are fucking ridiculous. We should make a game to see if people could interpret our back and forth. But if I do respond to you as in a GIF, it's not because I don't want to talk to you. It's really because that's my life. That's how I respond to people, and all of my personal life is through GIFs. So it just is what it is. And sometimes they won't make sense, and Jim will be like, "What?" It's really funny because sometimes it's just because I'm confused, and it was funny. Anyway, so tweet if there's something you would like to know, and Remedies will find out what it is.
Preferably
you need to know.
before Sunday.
He did do that. It was my fault. Bell's a baddie. But you could tweet directly to him on an appropriate day so that you give him more than enough time. His Twitter is right here in his box right there.
Is it the right one?
It is. Well, it's because I'm looking at the overlay, so it's you're down here, Jim's right here, and Secret's right here. Okay, Jimma, what hails from the pet battle land of fun?
Well, we know where some of these class pets are coming from. You know, I mentioned Rogue is getting a pet. We weren't sure 100% about the 3 newer looking whelplings that were supposedly for DKs, and of course I was happy to have 2 new monk companion pets announced, so I'm excited. So we've got a little information as far as where they come from. The monk and the death knight, actually, you just have to be full level, and like for the death knight, if you fully empower your traits for your artifact weapon, you will have access to get these 3 new whelplings. There's the blood whelpling, the frost whelpling, the unholy whelpling, I guess, for each spec. So the blood whelpling is the maw of the damned, the frost whelpling is the blades of the fallen prince, and then the unholy is apocalypse, which is cool. And then monks are getting the 2 as well, and you get those 2 after you complete your class specific quest to get your mounts. So that's cool. So there's Banfu and Cub of Banfu. Are those the same names? They seem the same. So I don't know if they're different.
Maybe
I think
one's one's the dads and one's the cub.
Maybe. I know one of them at least is just a reskinned Zufu, which isn't skinned as cool, but it does have some monk colors, which is nice. And then, both you have to be max level, and they say to me on the internet, the rumor is going around that it's going to cost 10k order resources. So if you're trying to save up for your 50k, that 10k is going to be a little annoying. Maybe get that after you complete all the new things. And then the Rogue one, where did you go, Rogue one? Once you complete Khadgar's
theaters.
No. Khadgar's quest to increase your artifact level. Once you complete a quest to do that, then you'll unlock the chance to get that pet as well, which is really cool for all classes, basically convincing us pet collectors to level all classes.
Are all classes getting pets then?
Not, I mean, some already have them. It feels that way. Like, I know the Druid already has one, and shout out to some of the viewers. Thank you. They did let me know. I think at level 95 for some of them, you get them. I think it was for the Shaman or the Druid. So that was cool. So these ones seem to be, you have to be max level and get through most of your artifact, right? So that's a little different, right? So that's cool. And then also announced just that pet battle dungeon, you get a companion pet for completing it. It is like, it looks like a Kodo kind of, that Kodo mount, but in pet form. So that's cool. A little more information from the PTR and some of the changes or things you're able to collect. Now, what I also was thinking about, Belle might have mentioned it earlier. I play one other game, and it had me thinking of all the different expansions that we've had, right? We have so many, right? So I was thinking, what companion pets are from like vanilla, and like how did it all start? A lot of older companion pets. Some of them are very easy to get. 3 that I don't have that are awesome are from the very first World of Warcraft Collector's Edition. I think at first, I was talking to Murky before, who has all 3 of these. You actually had to choose one of the 3 between the Zergling, the Mini Diablo, and the Panda Cub. All cool. I don't know what you guys would choose. I probably would have took that Zergling, I think.
Panda Cub, hello?
It's pretty boring, though. It just looks like a little panda.
Hello, it's a panda. You love it and feed it and squeeze it and hug it, and it grows and loves you forever.
Yeah, it's just a panda. You'd pick that over a Mini Diablo? Well, at least you
I
have
think you
that
need to go
option.
buy that collector's edition, Jim.
I think so, or you can start saving up for my birthday, and you can buy that for me. Actually, in brackets, it said like you can still find some of those on eBay, but I'm sure they go
Oh,
for a
yeah.
lot of money. I wonder how
Yeah,
much they do go
$800.
for. 800, eh?
Yeah, something like that.
So over time, you got to just, I think Murky said in Lich King there was an update where you just had all three of them. So those are three specific, very rare pets from the first chunk of pets from vanilla. And then, the whelplings were very, rare, and people would farm them for gold. You've got the dark whelpling, azure, crimson, and emerald. Very cool companion pets. And there was just some other like items in your bag. So there was no like pet like window or whatever. You would actually just have to have a space in your bag. So I thought it was really cool just researching, the way the game used to be, and just some of the companion pets. And we mentioned how expensive that collector's edition would be. Imagine how much that Murky BlizzCon pet costs for the very first BlizzCon. I think last I saw $1,000, give or take.
Classic collector edition Diablo Zergling Panda loot, approximately $350 on eBay.
That's not bad. I would have guessed more, actually. Not that I'm going to buy that, but
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just cool. There wasn't so many. The Hyacinth macaw was a very rare one to farm, and then
I got that one. I was pumped when I got that.
like back then, or
Back in BC is when I got it.
BC, nice, yeah. There were some other pets that showed in BC. I didn't want to go over BC pets just because I was very intrigued as far as like what was available. There was very minimal pets. Obviously, you could not battle them. They
Like
were just
a lot of the whelplings were vanilla. Like Azure,
all four of them
those,
were.
Yeah. I had three of them. I couldn't get the. I guess I want to say emerald from.
That'd be the green one, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot where it's from, but yeah, I couldn't get that one. I farmed that one for days.
They just dropped. Yeah, I was too lazy to farm them. I got, after serious raiding in Lich King, I got into like, okay, what do I spend my gold on or spend my time doing? So I started buying the companion pets, and those whelplings sold for a lot. They sell for a lot now, and I just remember how many I bought and sold when you could unlearn companion pets in Mists of Pandaria. Like when that first became a thing, like I was all over the auction house. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of reminisce and do some research. So, good luck on your classes for when you're able to get, for all you Death Knights, monks, and rogues out there. And that's all. That's all I really wanted to discuss.
That was really interesting. I did not know some of those things, so I appreciate you keeping me in the pet battle know, because I don't know unless you tell me, which is good.
Right.
Which is good. So now for my segment is actually responding to emails, because I've been a bad bell and have not been responding to emails. And it's not because I don't care, guys. It's just because I need to sit down and do the YouTube comments too. I just been life, man, just life. So there was an email that was sent actually last month, and it's awful that I did not respond to him. And I do want to apologize for not responding. But this email was sent from Solo, and he said, first, I need to say thanks. Due to my ridiculous commute, I have been looking for more WoW podcasts. I found yours a few months ago, and have found it so far a lot of fun. What made me feel the need to say hi was the last one. This was January 27th, so I'm assuming this was probably... So this is January 27th, and it would have been my birthday episode. So as Belle was listing the different dating sites and dropped FetLife in there, I almost swerved off the road. I was laughing so hard.
That's funny.
He hashtag Belle's a dirty girl, laugh out loud, keep up the good work.
That's funny.
I did get quite a few random DMs about knowing what FetLife is, and I just need to make sure I go on the record. There was an incident in the guild where I always have to curb as a guild master. One of the things you have to curb is relationships, because people will come to your guild and look for love. Writers is not the place to look for love, people. You can look for a lot of things. Please do not come to my guild looking for the love of your life. I guarantee you will barely find the fucking like of your life. So one of the things that I do as guild masters, and I make sure that I curb those situations, because what happens when an internal relationship inside a guild implodes? They look to the guild master to make a decision on somebody getting removed, splits the guild, makes it toxic. Bell doesn't deal with that bullshit. You want to be in a couple, you can be in a couple, not in writers. When I say that, I do not mean we don't like couples. I'm talking about two of my people dating each other and then it becoming this big internet love, right? Unless you are neighbors and in the same city, please do not try to find love in my guild, because I'm not going to deal with that
This place is
drama.
intense, by the way.
What place?
I just Googled it too. I'm like, what's
Yeah.
Fat Life?
So I did this post, and this post I said, listen, here are the places you can find love. Here's the place you don't find love, writers. Here's the places, and I listed all the websites, and I needed help finding these websites. So I was talking to my friend Travis, aka Murky, and I was talking to Cody, aka Hots, who lived with me at the time, and they were listing off all these sites that I didn't know anything about. FetLife came up, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And then my friend Murky's like, well, it's people for fetishes. And I was like, whoa. So it happened to, the only reason I knew of it was because it was a list of the posts that I had made to my guildies where I just basically said, okay, writers is not the place to look for your soulmate, because you're not going to find it in my guild. Maybe you will, but it's not going to be you dragging my guild through all your slanderous drama because so-and-so's flirting with you and trying to sleep with you over the internet and trying to Skype date you, all while trying to grinder you and DMing you and all these other things while being married, right? So this is not the guild for it. However, here's a list of places you can go to find what you're looking for. And I listed a whole bunch. Christian Mingle, FarmersOnly.com, BlackPeopleMeet.com. Like I literally I listed every single dating and match website, and FetLife was one of them. So,
by the way, made his rogue name FetLife.
He did. I felt like I needed to disclose that I have not, in fact, been to. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I did go to FetLife just to look because I was curious, and it is pretty. It's pretty intense.
It's rough.
You didn't just look. I bet you spent a good 15 to
Listen,
20 minutes.
There are certain things that Belle will do for a taco, but none of those things are on the list of stuff that Belle will do for tacos. Well, that might
be a category, things you do for
so
tacos or taco
it's
loving.
It's just none of those things. Some things don't belong where other things go. There's just some things that should just be kept to that thing. So,
oh my!
I'm not knocking anybody's. What you thing is your thing. As long as I don't got to be a part of it or see it, we're okay. I do my thing, you do your thing. But Solo, thank you so much for writing, and I do apologize that I didn't acknowledge it publicly before. The emails for the PWNCAST.tv site don't go where they're supposed to, so I'm changing that up. I want it to go directly to me where I can reply directly. It doesn't let me do that from my interface. It's kind of annoying, but I'm going to fix that because the ones that you send directly to Bell at PWNCAST, I can reply. These ones, it goes to like a different feedback folder on the site. It's just the way I have it set up is weird. And I did get another one. This was sent the 16th from Dustin. And Dustin says, Belle, I stumbled upon your podcast, believe it or not, because I wanted to listen to players who are passionate about the game talk about current WoW shit. Because, to be honest, I'm pretty much where you were back at the beginning of MOP, i.e. not knowing how to WoW like a proper casual. I think the greatest thing is that not only am I benefiting immensely from the extraordinary amount of detailed information you and the rest give, but also just saying you've kind of made me realize how much of a scrub I am. I've never really fit into a guild ever. I've been playing since the beginning of Mists of Pandaria. Luckily for me, however, I was smart and listened to your show where you talk about people bitching about not fitting into guilds, and now I can raise my hand and say I have sat on my ass and taken no response in guild chat as a sign of unhelpful and unbeneficial guild, and then do something about it. So thank you so much for being passionate and amazing. Beautiful. Stop these compliments. Stop, guys. Stop. Because if I hadn't found your podcast, I probably would have gotten way overwhelmed in Legion and stopped playing, like unfortunately did halfway through Warlords. Thank you again. Maybe I'll make a tune on Riders, or on Argent Dawn is where we're at.
There you go.
Well, I've forgotten what realm you play on, but I'm sure I'll hear about it next week. Shatezi. PS Affliction Rolls. Listen. Shatazi. Listen. PS Affliction Rules, don't get us off on the wrong foot. This is a new relationship for you and I. You don't call me beautiful in the same sentence and then say Affliction Rules. Like, it just cancels out the compliment. I'm just kidding.
Fair enough.
I'm just kidding. So we thank you for sending us, the mails, because I read all of them. It might take me a minute to respond. I read every single comment on the YouTube. I know for a fact Jim Banks goes and reads them all, and I know Rem reads them because Rem will message me about ones that he reads, and I know that Secret reads them as well. So I do have times where I sit down and respond to all the YouTube comments. It's not an everyday thing, but it is.
Yeah, me too.
That's the reason we do this. We do this so that we can have a banter, and it's difficult because we don't really get that banter unless you guys are commenting and unless you guys are emailing. And don't feel like it's weird that you're emailing. It's only weird if you show up at my front door.
Bring
You
tacos
can send
out.
us letters too. 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Send us letters.
P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. If you don't have that address memorized, you didn't have a fun life. I'm just going to throw that out there. But I wanted to take my segment to respond to emails because it's important. Because you guys are the reason we do what we do. And I appreciate. We've gotten a lot of new guys and all of you that have stuck with us. Old Man Yama, I've seen you recently. I haven't seen a comment from you and the missus in a really long time. Give her my love. Tell her I said hello and she's my favorite. But... yeah, and I didn't get to PvP like I wanted to this week because we leveled the druids pretty hardcore. And I am enjoying the balance rotation. I had to fix a couple things.
Very balanced?
Well, I had to fix a couple things in my rotation because I noticed me and Rem, he was better than me with DPS, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was by a lot. So then
Sparrow?
I kind of just...
surprises you?
We're both
As
balanced.
Sparrow, that'd be bad.
So I redid some of the things and some of the management, the appropriate spell rotation, and making sure that I was doing one before the other, and I'm on par with Rem's DPS. So I gauge myself on Rem's DPS no matter what we're playing because Rem is a very good player. Now, I don't really throw out compliments to a lot of people, but Rem is one of those people that's very versatile in the type of utility that he has. The same reason that I like talking with Secret about different classes, because they have that ability to just swap to a different alt and have that understand all the utility and use and proper rotation very easily. And they're the types of players that just get it. I need to have somebody sit down and explain to me what I do, how I do it, and when I do it in order for me to understand the concept. These guys can just go and do.
Press 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 3, 2.
Well, and you and Rem always have a really good way of being able to break it down in a manner to which I understand. I'm not super technical. I'm technical in my job. That's as far as my technical goes because I don't want to be technical at home. I'm technical all fucking day long dealing with people being a web developer. I can be technical there. When I come home, I don't want to be crunching numbers and doing math and all this other stuff. I just want to play and do. So I have...
We tell her spells and memes, and she gets it.
Well, he explains to me what the purpose is, even though the tooltip tells you, and that's great, but he just explains
but
you
it's
do
different.
X because you've procced Y, and you wait for proc Z before you proc X. Like, he explains to me in the order in which it should be done, the gear that you should be looking for. It's nice to have you guys as the go-tos for several different classes.
I'm baffled. She complimented you.
I don't ever give him compliments for
hell's frozen
anything.
over, Secret. What's going on?
I don't compliment him because if you do that, then
and publicly at that,
people get big heads and they're like, I'm amazing. Like, I don't like doing that because when you tell people all the good stuff, they just say that's. I love you because I talk shit. If I don't make fun of you, I don't love you.
Yeah, if I don't give you a hard time, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't
give
love
you soft time, long time.
I got not an email, but I got a Twitter inbox and I need to look at it. Okay, so she asked me, hey, Wolok, I did get your message on Twitter and I had a real busy day today, but I will respond to you. You'll probably get the response before this even airs because I'll probably respond to you when we're done. But by
the way, Belle, this is going to give you a complex, but the light from the phone conflicts with your other lighting.
I know it. Well, it's because it's in my face and it's like, We had to get the lighting right. There's trickery going on in my office. The light.
Oh, did you switch it up again?
No, I just kind of changed the direction in which it when you come next month, we'll be able to. You can help me be my lighting person to help me work it out.
There you go.
Rem's coming for him and Dark. My husband's birthday is a week apart.
All right.
So and then Murky's gonna drive down here. We tried to get you. I think we asked you. Secret, if you could take that weekend.
What day was it again?
The 25th of March. That weekend, the Friday and the Saturday, and I'm
Weekend
assuming the Sunday. The 24th, technically. The 25th is on a Saturday.
I don't know.
Well,
Yet.
just
I'll
that
see. I'll
But
see how many hours I have.
we're just gonna do some, steaks and beer. That's where.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty simple.
You can go to the Grand Canyon again, Jimmy Banks, and not go.
Yeah. Go wear your brand new white shoes.
I was so
This
mad,
guy-
guys.
what?
Listen, when you have a friend who lives in another country, right? Jimma lives in Canada, guys. I want you to be offended for me. Jimma lives in Canada. Jimma is in the he is at the Grand Canyon, which is maybe a 2-hour drive from where Belle lives in Arizona. It's the closest he'll ever be to my state besides BlizzCon. So I say, hey, come down. I will cook for you and your friends. You could rest. Just come and chill.
Very
You're right
lovely
here.
Offer.
Do you think he came? No.
So
He
these
didn't.
guys position it, and it's funny because remedies seem legit mad. These fools don't even know.
No, he really was very offended that you didn't come down here. He was very
I
offended.
didn't even know I was going. So they're the people I went to Vegas with. I went to Vegas, and they're like, okay, we'll go to Grand Canyon. The whole time in my head, I'm like, I don't want to go to the Grand Canyon. I'm like, I've seen pictures of it, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, we're going there anyway. We rent a car because we didn't need to rent a car during Vegas. We just literally rented a car for one day, and we drive to the Grand Canyon. And we're driving, and a sign says Arizona. I go, Arizona? I go, oh my gosh.
What is this such thing?
Well, yeah.
Does this
so I
place
messaged-
actually exist, or?
I just didn't. And then, of course, Remedy's like, you don't know geography? I'm like, I didn't think that I didn't know that Grand Canyon was in Arizona anyways. So I start writing to everybody. I'm in Arizona, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, come over. It's not like it was just me to say no, I'm not going. I have 2 people. Again, the offer was lovely. And we had
That
to
was
go
no
back.
offer
We
to
rented
cook for
a car,
anybody, okay? I don't
which
cook for anybody.
which I appreciated. But then again, they were being for real salty. I'm like, you guys don't understand. We didn't plan to be out.
Dark
We had to
was mad
return the
too.
car that night.
Dark was mad too. I never told you Dark was mad.
I didn't even know. These guys, I make this beautiful picture, and I take these little Arizona keychains, and I put Steven and Samantha together, and I take a picture and send it to
I don't
be
know
even
who those 2 people are.
I do, and so does everybody else know, because we screw up and say everybody's names a million times on the show. But
I'm pretty sure I've
yeah.
said my husband's full name, so.
Of course. Don't be salty, okay? If I knew.
We're
and I
not
had a
salty
chance,
anymore.
I'll just
I think
be-
I was more sad, because it was the closest
Yeah.
you were ever going to be here. But I mean, I'll see you at BlizzCon, so I'm not.
I had no idea that I was going to Arizona.
It was really I even
Right?
tried to bribe with food. It was like, I'll feed your friends,
Yeah,
I don't do
and
many
I was trying to
things
save
well.
money because what's that?
I don't do many things well, but I'm a good parent and I'm a good cook. So
Yeah.
that's the only 2
see your
things I got
post
going for
book
me.
on internet. Oh, and then just to add to all that, I actually thought the Grand Canyon was breathtaking, and the pictures obviously don't do it justice. And sometimes you just have to go with the flow and not be like, I don't want to go do that, and just enjoy yourself.
Now you're
So
glad you have that, you have that memory of being able to
Yeah.
see the giant
I got
hole.
real close to the edge too. That was scary.
Fun fact, I've never been to the Grand Canyon, and I've lived in the state my whole life, minus when I lived in Illinois. Literally, my whole life I've been here, and I've never been to the Grand Canyon.
Kind of fun.
Well, I mean, I've never been to Yosemite.
Well, I have a height issue,
I.
not because I'm short, but I'm afraid of heights a little bit.
Or Mammoth.
Well, this will freak you out. So I got close to the edge, and these little kids and this guy walks in front of me, and the one guy sits on the edge and has his legs dangling. I had to back up. It made me sick for a moment. Yeah, I had to adjust, and then I gathered myself and took some pictures.
I would have
close to-
freaked out and grabbed him and
some
pulled him
pissers.
over
Took
the
the
mic. What was that?
Woo!
What was that?
Yeah.
Got closer to the edge than Bell.
Oh my. What does that mean? So, yeah, I don't do the edge of anything. So,
No, he got closer to the edge than he did to Bell.
he did. I see what you did there.
Don't push me.
So,
close.
guys, that
Edge.
is the show. We just need to do the week in WoW that I almost forgot about, but just remembered.
Yep,
Gemma,
that
what
was
did
funny.
you do this week in World of Warcraft?
What did he say?
I had to recover because I almost closed the show.
We would have caught you though. I did a lot of Maw of Souls grinding when I was online. Didn't get as much time to play as I would have liked. I did a Mythic 15, and it was way less stressful than the 10 because, we mentioned I did a 10 last week, and it was more pressure to do the 10 because we were trying to do time.
They're
right? We were
removing that that overheal thing. Is that not what
They're taking it out?
is that not the one they're removing, Rem? Rem will correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure, but the devs tweeted that they were removing, I could have swore it was that one, the overheal one they're removing as a modifier.
Why would they remove
I
that
have
one?
not
That's-
heard.
They removed one that was one that everybody asked to be removed. It began overpowering ?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not even right about that. Anyway, sorry, Gemma. Sorry.
That's all right. You're good, Bell. You and I are the same. Like I don't know what's going on until my friends say, look out for this. Or of course, there was volcanoes everywhere. This week.
Did
They
you
were
finish the
exploding.
15 in the time? Or
No, and that's why. So like again, we were doing the 10 last week, and we two chested it, and it was a lot of pressure for me. I'd never even attempted a 10. This guy had the 15 stone, and it was straight up like, we're not going to make time.
You knew
And
already.
Yeah. So it was no pressure. It was hard. Of course, it took 55 minutes, a couple wipes. It was kind of funny when, a mob would accidentally be pulled.
Do you still
and
get the completing a level 15 achievement? If you don't? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So my chest is going to be 15 tomorrow. I got a cloak, and I actually would have had an upgrade on the legs, but in the rogue was like the one guy whose stone it was, like, because the four of us, I don't know them that well. My friend does, but anyways, he got 6 or 890 pants or whatever, and he didn't care for them. So I'm like, I'll take them, but they were 5 item levels higher. He couldn't pass them to me or something.
They're his.
Dang,
They're
I
his.
know. So it was.
Again, we still don't like that issue, but.
Well, if someone's willing to give it up, so yeah, and I was actually happy. I'm like, oh, you do get a chest at the end of it, because again, 55 minutes.
You still get something for completing it regardless of the time. It would be really shitty if they took that away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't think they will, because again, like, why would we complete? Well, I guess you get the one chest, or
yeah, it's like a consolidation prize.
yeah. So that was fun, and most of my
Consolation, not consolidation. God damn.
Yeah, I'm trying student loans, man.
Okay, Dom.
Fucking in my head.
fun.
Love
Yeah,
you,
just a lot of boring grinding as far as my gameplay. I haven't been doing
That
pet
made me
battles
cry.
as much. Nice. Pet battles is like my thing, but I haven't been doing it like.
I think sometimes maybe you burn out a little bit of your thing, and maybe you just need to refresh. Like, you've been doing the PvE stuff, which is probably a real nice change of pace for you.
For me,
Yeah, it's not-
for this,
it's-
yeah.
Not good to be in a Pacific part of the game.
I fucking
Right.
hate him.
Yeah, it's good, and it's like I said, it's just good to do some stuff of some sort of skill level, right? So
Where you have to
yeah, it's-
brain power, because your pet battles is so second nature that it's not.
it really is, and like I've said the content is good for pet battles, what we got and what we're going to get, but pet battles is such a small part of Warcraft overall, so it's good to yeah.
Look at you growing. You're just growing,
Right?
just growing all over the place, just spreading your wings.
Well, I'm a good player. Like, I used to raid seriously. I just I don't want to dedicate the time to a raid team.
Samesies, I don't either. Yet I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Did Sauce play well?
Yeah, and I think Sauce actually, since he has not been raiding on schedule. I mean, I still see him raiding, so I'm assuming he's raiding with a raid team. He's not raiding with riders though. But I think it's freed up a lot of your time. I see you do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I've actually farmed the hero's mount with a bunch of friends last week, I believe. Before I had to go to work, I actually stayed until 5:30 in the morning and knocked that out. Yeah, I mean, I go in late, so it worked out perfectly. Did that tier on all the characters so far. Pretty pumped about that. Can't wait for tomorrow to get hopefully 2 more pieces of tier. That way I can be even better. But gonna farm my moose mount tonight as soon as the show's over and get that taken care of. One less thing I have to worry about, since I did the stupidity thing of when archaeology first came out in Legion and farmed for 5 hours for no reason. So that's really it. Just looking forward to tomorrow to raid and
Nice.
a haircut and
I need a haircut too.
Toys
Me
R Us
too.
and stuff like that. Yeah. So
What? You want to get the same hairdo?
I mean, we could.
Do you want to do the do?
twins?
Yeah.
Like triplets?
We could be triplets. Be like Donovan
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I part my hair also, so I guess it's if I, clipped it back, could be part of
All
the.
triplets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
We could
kind of
match.
growing my hair like the Remedy look as well, kind of. I'm going through my midlife crisis right now, so I don't know what to do.
Got to get a Harley.
That's not
I
what I
know,
thought you
right?
were gonna say. Rem, what did you do this week in World of Warcraft?
Did you think he was going to say Hummer?
That's not what I thought he was gonna say, but it was pretty close.
Get another vote.
And Rem just got it.
Anyway, honestly, I didn't get a lot of playtime. I worked a lot.
You
And
beat
you
It
were
him
was
in the
sick.
mostly,
trap.
it was mostly the leveling the druid, but other than that, no, I didn't get much playtime. I wasn't able to do mythics really. 10 and 11-hour days.
That's good.
It's gonna start getting chaotic in summer. It's gonna be fun.
Oh
It's
yeah.
fun.
But the community will be safe from pests.
There you go.
Yeah.
And his pocket will be banging.
Oh
Right?
yeah, definitely during summer.
His pocket will be banging.
Mhm.
Mice for everyone during summer.
Yeah, he's gonna buy me tattoos and body piercings. That's what your friends do.
We are all getting tattoos at BlizzCon, so it's all good.
Throwing shade at my 18-year-old who.
Are you getting a tramp stamp down at Remedies?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be your name, Gemma. Your name.
Yeah.
Just literally your name.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Did you play WoW, Belle?
I did a lot of guild stuff, and I leveled the druid, and which is nice. I always enjoy just stepping away from the main and just having fun. My idea is by the time the expansion's over, I will have leveled all of my alts to max. I like to go into a
Yep.
new expansion with all of my
Ready.
alts to max. It's kind of an OCD thing of mine. And right now I'm struggling a little bit with single target for destruction. I don't need any help, guys. I know how to play my warlock. It's just is what it is. If you look at the charts, warlocks are not at the top for destruction.
Sure ain't.
Every other warlock is, but not destruction, which is fine. It is what it is.
Try them out.
Well, no, I don't have no desire. I like what I like, and I'm
Yeah.
I don't want to be top of damage meters anyway when it comes to PvE. It's just not, it's nothing I care enough about to change. If I wanted to be a top rate or if I was interested in like my buddy Cash's got to be the top of the meters no matter what he does because it's just the type of guy that he is. That's cool
Yes.
for him. It's not, I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. I stop raiding the second my DPS is a problem. When we start removing people from raid, I will just disappear for a couple weeks, and then when the heat's off me, I'll randomly join back for a boss or two, and then dip out again. And it's not because I don't want to raid; it's just because I don't care. I don't care.
She just goes back for the achievements for the AOTCs.
I like doing it. I enjoy the conversation with the guild during raiding. I enjoy being with the guild. I just don't want to put in the effort to constantly do all. I want to just go in,
Right.
and then when it's a problem and we start removing people because, I meet the minimum benchmark, but that's it. You're getting the bare minimum out of me. Not because I don't want to, but just because it is what it is. I'm not willing to change.
True.
So it's nice for me, like the druid. When the expansion first launched, the balance rotation was really clunky. All you balance druids out there will just know it was just a real clunky rotation. It was really, what are we doing here as a balance druid? So being able to level last week was really fun. I found it. I miss Starfall following you because that was really fun. And that was really fun in Warlords to level and just pull everything and die. So
Oh my god.
I'm sad that that's the targeted location on the ground now, but I understand why they did it, and I appreciate some of the changes that they made to the rotation, and I enjoy. It's a lot of work, right? Balance is a lot of work. You have to know what you're doing.
You have to be committed to that too.
Yeah, and
so.
you have to make sure you're doing your rotation proper, because one misstep in your rotation, you're going to drop like 30k from your DPS.
You know, it's funny. I was just thinking you were complaining about the AoE for Starfall now. Back when Hunters had the old volley, they got rid of the AoE reticule on the ground, and they added in multi-shot. People complain that multi-shot wasn't as fun as volley.
Why?
It just wasn't.
I really just enjoyed.
It's kind of backwards.
I leveled my druid in Warlords of Draenor with my friend Brad, and we would say, okay, I'm going to Starfall, you Starfall next time. We would always say that, and we would never listen to each other. We would both just Starfall in opposite directions and then run into each other with the mob of things and die. And it was part of the fun. It's the same thing with Barrage. I enjoy barraging and dying. It's really fun for me, because that's just how I roll. But that's what I did. I leveled. I'm going to be working on the DK, loving Unholy, actually. I had to look up the rotation because it has changed quite a bit. as far as not so much as a rotation, but a priority. And I watched a really good video. I can't remember the name of the gentleman that did the video. He did a stellar Unholy video. I really should link it, so that those of you that are Unholy, just talking about using when to use your different abilities when it comes to depending on how many stacks of Festering Moons you have, and using those to burst appropriately to be able to maximize your damage outputs, and using your dots appropriately. Really, really fun being Unholy, and I'm not even I just barely started leveling, but I am enjoying the kill rotation. But I'm like item level 603, so it's really rough to be okay to live.
Oh yeah.
It's like a struggle, guys. Like, I die 4 times in a leveling session. It's a struggle because her gear just is crap. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just stepping outside of my bell box to expand the knowledge with the different... I would like to be like Rem, where he can just go on a tune and just instantly have all the infinite knowledge of the universe and be able to do without having to think about it. That's kind of a stepping for me inside my brain, is I'd like to be able to be versatile. I don't have to master every class, but I do want to have an understanding enough to be able to conversate with somebody that's not a warlock, somebody that's a DK, or somebody that's a druid. I want to be able to have that conversation to know what affects you when stuff changes, so that I can know what matters to you. It just sounded really... a little touchy-feely. It was not intended, guys. Sorry. Feelings will never happen again. I'm just kidding, guys. Don't make this weird. But
I'm not crying. You're crying.
The one that did.
I've cried like 12 times this week over dumb stuff. I don't even know why. Movies, guys. Anybody else cry here at movies? No, just me.
No, I hold it in. There's only like a few movies that like tried to choke me up, and I was like, no, and I'm like...
So... Sunday, I had a really, really bad headache, and I basically my normal Sunday routine, it just didn't happen. I literally
was out the fucking window.
I was in bed all day. I could barely even stand it. My head was hurting so bad, and I took so many pills. I had heartburn that night. I decided to watch Warcraft, right? Because I'm in bed. I'm just going to watch it.
I want to rewatch that.
I cried like 4 times, and there isn't anything tear-jerking about it, except it's emotional for us as players to see that. But I literally, Garona killed... By now we've all seen it. Garona killed the king, and she didn't want to, and I cried when the dagger... I literally just... I felt the pain.
OMG. Are you pregnant?
No, I'm not at all. It's just... Movies are I think it's because I'm not really emotional in my other parts of my life, that I think the movies just tug at heartstrings that perhaps I bottle, maybe? I don't really know, but
it's possible.
I cried like 3 or 4 times, and the movie was over, and I was just like... Now Lothar thinks that she killed him because she's mean, and
I want to rewatch that.
Oh god.
I watch it pretty often.
I got the Blu-ray sitting on my dresser.
Yeah, I watch it pretty often.
Well, I remember when it first came out, and then we waited a bit to re-talk about it, and you're like, yeah, I watched it 12 times already. I'm like,
because
what?
Every time I've watched it, I've caught something that I missed in a reference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every single time I've watched it, I have caught something else that I missed either visually or verbally as a reference to game. Something that was put in there as like a nugget, like an egg.
A nugget.
Maybe like Easter?
Not those kind of nuggets or eggs, guys. Let's not make this weird. But I think that is the end of the show. Not the end of the world as we know it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Follow us all individually on Twitter. Belle follows everybody back as long as you're not a twit bot. I
feel fine.
I follow everybody and like to conversate on Twitter. So,
before we go, what do you call heavy rain in Thunder Bluff, Belle?
I don't know.
Torrential rain.
Oh, come on.
Oh my god.
Somebody told me
Brought
my
to you
nerd.
by Warcraft.
What is that word I didn't know that began with a P? Somebody told me my nerd points were reduced because I didn't know a fucking random word that we learned in the 4th grade. Hi. I don't remember. I don't use that in my everyday nerd life.
Polyamorous?
Yeah, no, not that one. Ass. What was that word that you said that was the Earth and people were like,
oh, Pangea.
Yeah. First of all, Pangea is not a part of my normal everyday life, nor is it a part of my nerd life.
Anyone's fucking everyday life.
I have the encyclopedia of useless information in my head.
But somebody had said, your nerd cards were revoked or whatever, and I'm just like, what? Because I didn't know the most random word in America, because I didn't, I probably learned that word in school and don't remember. I don't know, guys.
Your card's revoked.
That does not make me a nerd because I didn't know that random word. What makes me a nerd is the fact that my computer is more money than what I pay for.
Car
it.
payment.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Or a down payment.
It's worth
Yeah,
more
there you
than
go.
me.
it is not. You are priceless, Gemma.
Aw.
That's
True.
your only one you're getting this week. But guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Make sure you tweet to us.
That's
Don't forget to comment on the show. We love your comments. If you are not a commenter and you listen on iTunes, hop on over to the YouTube channel and tell us you're here. Give us a hello. Give us a thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe. Share, guys. Share us to the world so that the world will get to know us and we can get to know them. And
Share us like herpes. We'll spread like wildfire.
Yes, there is no cure. You
All bad.
can prevent an outbreak, though. It is still possible to spread PWNCAST to others while you're not exhibiting signs or symptoms of PWNCAST. I watch a lot of TV. We're going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Bye.
Bye. Like herpes.
So, Belle, are you sure you aren't a rogue?
What?
Are you sure you aren't a rogue?
Why?
Because puns are hard to explain to rogues. They take things literally.
Oh, come on. Are you on a Warcraft joke site?
He's on fire.
I'm on the Reddit right now.
Oh, man.
Ram is on fire.
Listen, my
just
Russian
like that
bride
one in
is ready,
Subtle.
according to my recent spam email. Anybody want my Russian bride? I'll sell her for $1.
Google it.
That's
Pet life.
Did you guys go to that site? Creeps?
I
Yeah.
just was
I
like,
know,